Okay, what defines a man is the circumstances and people around him. And if they are good, he turns out to be good. What defines a man is the circumstances and people around him. And if these people are good, he turns out to be good. Then, the society is responsible for the moral characters it creates. And everyone in a community should be responsible for helping to train a child, irrespective of who the parents are, offering correction where they are needed. Now, take this again. The society is responsible for the moral characters it creates, and everyone in the community should be responsible for helping to create or train a child, irrespective of who the parents are, and offering correction where they are needed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 55th edition of African Cocktail, which is of course the first in this second phase of 2014. Good morning to listeners of African Cocktail in Freetown, capital of Sierra Leone. Then, good afternoon to you listening to us in Moyamba. We are still in Sierra Leone. And if you're listening to us in Bombali, Port Loko, Tonkolili, we are still in that great country known as Sierra Leone. I want to say good afternoon. Then, good afternoon to you listening to us from Betua, that is in the east region of Cameroon. And to you listening to us from Kinshasa, that is in the DRC, we say good afternoon. What about you listening to us in Maryland, USA? We say good morning. And to you listening to us in Missouri, that is here in the United States of America, we say good morning. Good afternoon to you listening to us from Tibati. Tibati is found in the Adamawa region of Cameroon. We say good afternoon to you listening to us from that beautiful town. And to you listening to us in Cape Town, South Africa, we say good afternoon, good morning to you in Cleveland, Ohio. What about you listening to us from Alexandria in Egypt? We say good afternoon. Then to you listening to us in Juba, that is in South Sudan, we say good afternoon. Then what about you listening to us in Rome, that is in Italy? We simply say in Italia, buongiorno. And to you in France, precisely in the capital Paris, we say bon après-midi. What about you listening to us in Berlin, Germany? Guten Tag. Then to you listening to us in Dar es Salaam, that is the economic capital of Tanzania, we say good afternoon. Then to you listening to us in Luanda, that is in Angola, we say good afternoon. Good afternoon to you listening to us in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, and to you in Lilongwe, Malawi. What about you listening to us in Kumasi, Ghana? We say good afternoon. And to you listening to us in Lagos, Nigeria, good afternoon as well. Then to you listening to us in Mombasa, that is in Kenya, we say good afternoon. Si vous êtes à Dakar, c'est-à-dire au Sénégal, on vous dit bon après-midi. And to you listening to us from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe, we say good afternoon. And to you listening to us from LA, that is in California, US of A, we say good morning. Then to you listening to us in Tokyo, Japan, we say good evening. Good afternoon to you listening to us from St. Petersburg in Russia. And to you listening to us in Sydney and Melbourne, Australia, we say good evening. Good afternoon to you in Niamey, that is in Niger. And to you listening to us in the city of Columbus, we say good morning. Then, when you get this voice every Wednesday at this hour, know that you're listening to African Cocktail. Welcome to the first edition of your darling show for phase 2 of 2014, which is of course the 55th episode since we started the show in May of 2013. Just like we say all the time, African Cocktail is that party on radio that brings you all the niceties of the beautiful African continent. So, how much of Africa do you know? How much of Africa do you eat? How much of Africa do you wear? And how much of African entertainment news do you get to savor? And most important, how much of African music do you dance to, listen to? These are the kind of questions we do well to answer on African Cocktail. African Cocktail is a mixture of the best African values you can ever think of. And in this 55th episode of the show, which is of course the resumption edition of the show, we take a look, we take you to West Africa and precisely the diamond-rich nation of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, where development has been rife in the various areas of life after the ambiguous political history of that country. Sierra Leone, where the rapid growth of the entertainment sector is characteristic of the country's contemporary history. Scores of talented and successful illustrious sons and daughters of the country have been Sierra Leone's pride in recent times. One of them is USA-based Winstina Taylor, movie actress and philanthropist. The young Winstina is amongst those who toil tooth and nail to ensure that aspiring Sierra Leoneans see their dreams come true. This episode of African Cocktail, she recounts her story in the movie world as well as humanitarian activities. Winstina Taylor is the main guest in this 55th episode of African Cocktail. She will be speaking live from Maryland. Okay, it may be hard to recall the bitter memories of Cameroon's dismal performance at the 2014 World Cup currently going on in Brazil, but not to mention it would equally be unprofessional as well. In this episode of African Cocktail, we do a brief flashback looking at some of the things Cameroonians have been saying since the demise of the Indomitable Lions. This and more will constitute a rich package our Central African correspondent will be serving to us in this edition of African Cocktail. JJ Shom will be reporting from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, in this edition of African Cocktail. Don't go away. And so, the journey to 2035 emergence goal Cameroon has set for itself may just begin at the level of the country's municipalities. Rural as well as urban councils would have hit the rails already with projects. Is that the case with the Kumbu Urban Council in Bui Division of the Northwest region of Cameroon? How has Kumbu transformed within the 10 last years? What are the landmark achievements of the town and its municipal administration? What are the major projects in the pipeline? Now, answers to these and more questions will be provided by the mayor of the Kumbu Urban Council, John Donatus. The mayor, for long described as dynamic, is currently sojourning the United States of America, accompanied by close aides. Joins us in this edition of African Cocktail as special guest. Don't go away. Access to quality education programs and initiatives to the girl child is what ex-students of Seka Baptist College, Limbe, Cameroon are bent on achieving. And until that goal is attained, alumni of that prestigious denominational secondary school would not relent their efforts. However, such ambitions can only get to fruition if the resources are in place. It is in a bid to assemble these resources that the Limbe girls, under the banner of Secrets, organized their 2014 fundraising last Friday, June the 27th in Houston, Texas. We are told this year's project is to provide scholarships to deserving girls in the school. Besem Oben is the Houston chapter president of Secrets. In this edition of the show, she evaluates last Friday's event as well as introduces us to her chapter in this renowned alumni association. She joins us from Houston, Texas just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. So don't go away. Now, she's new in the landscape with a new album in the market, yet Ruth Njika is an experienced singer. The gospel artist proceeded to launch Yahweh, her maiden album last Saturday in Maryland. In our discovery slot today, we received the young and talented singer who is set to tell us her story. Just like Mark Fombang, another Cameroonian singer based in Germany. He joins us in this edition of African Cocktail as well, and he will be telling us his own story from Germany. Don't go away. Also in this edition of African Cocktail, we shall talk movies with Desiree I, and of course, film administration with Akim Macaulay, the diaspora representative of the Cameroon film industry, CFI USA. Okay, our regular slots, the Belgium report with Titus Banyo, and of course, Solomon Atta South Connect will be yours as well. Meantime, I am in this sumptuous 1110 studio of Africa Radio Alone. We are situated at Moss Road in the northern belt of the city of Columbus, like you all know. But then I have a main guest who will be talking to us from Maryland. Her name is Winstina Taylor, iconic movie star from Sierra Leone. So, at exactly 13 minutes to 11, let's move on to Maryland and find out if our main guest is with us this morning. So, Winstina Taylor, if you are listening to us, then we want you to indicate your presence. Welcome to African Cocktail.
Thank you.
So, how is it today?
I'm doing great.
That's great. So, how is your family doing, husband and kids?
Everybody is wonderful. Everybody's doing great.
Winstina, I know you are still to recover from last Saturday's big event. I'm talking about the premiere of AK, a Cameroonian movie in which you feature. So, how did it go?
Oh my God, it was incredible. It was a great movie, great turnout, great cast. Everything was just wonderful.
Wow. Okay. We'll have time to come back to that in this edition of African Cocktail with Sina. You are the main guest in this edition of the show. So once again, you're welcome, and you'll be with me throughout the show.
Thank you.
Okay, her name is Winstina Taylor. She's main guest in this edition of African Cocktail. Mine is Ernest, Kanjo, main host of your midweek darling show, African Cocktail, asking you to sit back, relax, and of course enjoy every bit of what we shall be presenting to you this Wednesday morning, Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2014, which is of course the resumption episode of African Cocktail. We took a 3 weeks break, but then we are back strong and kicking, thanks to God the Father Almighty, and it is thanks to Him that we make it every Wednesday here in the studio to present this very wonderful program. And we can't begin without saying thank you, God, in a very special way. So wherever you are listening to us at this moment, just bow down your heads. Let's thank God for everything, and of course for making it possible that we are back on the air this day. We're going to do that in a special way. Change my story, Princess Felicia.
I was trying to understand this. Ending of this month, I'm going to. I want
the praise, King of Kings. I give you all the praise, Lord of Lords. I give you all the praise, Ancient of Days. You are worthy to be praised, King of Kings. Worthy,
to be praised.
Oh,
Worthy, 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 worthy to be
Lord Jesus Christ. Princess Felicia.
change my story, Jehovah, change my story. Change my story, Jehovah, change my story. Change my story, Daddy, oh. I am in your presence.
Change my
Alpha and Omega.
change
I am in your presence.
Change my
King of glory.
change
I am in your presence.
Change my
Mighty man in battle.
change
I am in your presence.
change
Lord of Judah.
change
I am in your presence.
change
Lion of Judah.
change
I am in your presence.
change
Chief cornerstone.
change
I am in your presence.
change
Consuming fire. Change my story.
I will not let you go until you bless me. I will not let you go until you do something in my life. You must change my story, Jehovah. Do something in my life. Anywhere I go, they are mocking at me. Anywhere I go, they are laughing at me. I need a change. I need a change. I am in your presence, Lord, omnipresent God. I am in your presence, Lord, power must change and hey, whoa. I remember when Jacob came into your presence. I remember when Anna came into your presence. No one ever come into your presence and go back the same. I am in your presence, Lord. Change my story. I am in your presence, Lord. Change my story. See this crowd, they are crying for help. Some are asking for a child, barren and bulldozer. Some are asking for a job provider. Some are asking for a wife. Some are asking for a husband. Do something in their life. Do something in their life. Hey, whoa.
Father, we bless your name this day. Thank you, Lord, for this day and this new opportunity to exhibit your great power in our lives. Lord, we thank you for the wisdom, the foresightedness, the energy, and of course, your ending love. Thank you most especially for bringing us back to this great platform which you offered us to contribute to the development of Africa and its people. Bless every voice that we heard on this show today and change the story of those who have been in pain in one way or the other. Thank you for soaking this episode in the precious blood of your Son Jesus Christ, and through him we pray. Amen.
You change our story, Daddy, oh. Let my garment be a garment of testimonies, Daddy. You change our stories, Daddy, oh. Mighty man in battle, Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Jireh. I am in your presence. I'm in the presence, God. I am in your presence. Mother to them who don't rest. I am in your presence. Mother to them who don't rest. I am in your presence. My minister. I am in your presence. Change my story.
Change my story. Change my story, Jehovah. Father, thank you so much for making it with us again. And that is Princess Felisa and of course Evangelist Ewabi, they are Cameroonians, singing from Kumba in the southwest region of the country. Beautiful gospel piece then. Kicking off this edition of African Cocktail, of course, the resumption edition, this day, July the 2nd, 2014. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you just joining us, you're welcome on board. This is a fresh new edition of African Cocktail. And we want to say we are quite excited because we know that you've always been friends to this show. And of course, you always be with us. You always give us your support. It's going to be an exciting edition of African Cocktail this day because we have lots and lots of people talking in this edition. First, we are going to have our main guest, Winstina Taylor, who is a movie star from the great West African country of Sierra Leone. She'll be with me throughout this edition of African Cocktail. We shall also be listening to Ruth Njika, who is a young Cameroonian gospel artist who just released her maiden album. And of course, she'll be making a stopover to tell us about this new birth in the gospel music industry. Then we shall move over to Germany in the course of the show to meet one other young Cameroonian artist. His name is Mark Fombang. Then we shall come back to the United States of America and make a stopover in Maryland, where we are going to meet Haitian movie star Desiree I, who is, of course, very influential and instrumental as far as African movies here in the United States of America are concerned. Then we shall also listen to the diaspora representative of the Cameroon film industry, CFI USA, Akim Macaulay, who coordinated a camp together of all Cameroonian actors here in the United States of America last Sunday. He shall be evaluating that meeting and, of course, telling us about their plans. Then we shall move over to Texas, precisely to the city of Houston, where Besem Oben will be telling us about the Secrets fundraising event that took place last Friday here in the United States of America. And so, like we announced some time ago, we are having some new features in this show. First, we shall have what we have dubbed Telling Track. Now, Telling Track is a slot which is going to be musical in nature, but then this is how we are going to do it. Now, I know most of you love music. You love listening to music. Some of you love dancing. But then we have the notion here on this show that music is not only aimed at entertaining, but music also educates as well as informs. But now we are focusing on the educational aspect of music. And what we are saying is that we want to believe, and we are going to be doing that henceforth, in music that educates. So the opener track on this show will be that song or that track that educates. Now, this is what I'm going to expect you to do. You may be a good dancer, but I don't expect you to stand up and dance. What you're going to do is to open your eyes and ears, most precisely ears, wide open. I repeat, wide open. Listen to the lyrics, listen to the message, and if you feel at the end of it that it has created an impact in you, then don't just hesitate to dial 614-987-5097 and tell us. Now, take it again. The music I'm going to play now is not for dancing. It's just for listening. Listen carefully and understand what the artist is saying. And if it has an impact in your life, then let us know. Our idea is to make music useful. Not just for entertainment, but useful, because we want to believe that musicians play a very big role in the development, not just of Africa, but the entire world. And so, our first track in this very special slot called Telling Track is Panko System. Panko System is a song that was done by the legendary Prince Nico Mbarga of blessed memory some time ago. I think it should have been in the 70s. But then that music still has an impact in the lives of many whenever they listen to it. That's what I call timelessness and universality of music. So listen to this one. Don't dance, like I said. At the end of it, we are going to either make a comment or we're simply going to say no comment. Remember that we're going to begin the show soon after this with our main guest in this edition of African Cocktail. Don't go away. Telling track.
Oh, this one, ideo, 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 baba. Ide baba. They surprise me too much, we say. When some people they enjoy their money, and when you tell them the existence of God, they no go want to listen to you at all. But when bad sickness don't come for them, bye, now that time they go remember saying God. Them go say, God help me, oh. God help me, oh. They surprise me too much, we say. When some people they enjoy their life, and when you tell them about the existence of God, they no go want to listen to you at all. But when they don't begin suffer, now that time they go begin to blame God. Them go say, God help me, oh. God help me, oh. Make I know that, I go serve you, I go remember you. Take my money, take my property, but just give me my life to me. Tell me whom you work with, and I'll tell you what you are. That's the number one philosophy when I learn. Tell me, oh. Birds of different feathers flock together. Birds of different feathers flock together. Good company they bring good people, you know. Bad company they bring bad people. Anything where you plant, now it you go harvest. Rockabilly just don't plant Panko system for you. Panko system now good fruit to reap. Yes, you know the plant.
without a solution at all. No problem, we don't get how to solve them. Anyhow you solve them, solution na solution. Tell me, yeah. Whether good or bad, solution na solution. Tell me, yeah. Solution na solution.
Okay. What do we say? Sans commentaire. Okay. That one was done in Pidgin, otherwise known as lingual franca. But then I understand that most parts of English-speaking Africa understand Pidgin. And so my listeners from English-speaking Africa would definitely have understood what Nico Mbarga said in that one titled Banco System. No comments. Okay, this is African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio. We are soon going to Maryland to start our conversation with our main guest in this edition of the show. Lots and lots of other people will be talking to us this morning. Okay, let's have this one by Jimmy Toro. Then we'll be right back with our main guest. Don't go away.
André Doris à Charleville. Écoutez ça. Je suis tombé amoureux d'une belle fille. Elle est partie au pays de Molière. Depuis qu'elle est partie, je n'ai plus l'envie de me souvenir. Reviens-moi mon cœur. André Joël.
Okay, we're definitely not going to listen to that one in its entirety. Probably we will do that after we would have had this first phase of our conversation with Winstina, who is our main guest in this edition of African Cooking. Like I said, she's a Sierra Leonean movie icon. She is a philanthropist. She's, of course, an illustrious daughter of that continent. Winstina has so much to talk about. And of course, we're going to discover this very dynamic young African in this edition of African Cocktail. At exactly 12 minutes past 11, let's move to Maryland and say welcome once again to Winstina Taylor. Winstina, welcome back.
Thank you.
So, I would like to know who Winstina Taylor is, most especially for the sake of those who haven't heard this name before or who haven't come across you yet.
Basically, I would say if you really want to get to know me, I'm a simple, down-to-earth person. I'm a mother, a wife. I have 5 children,
Right.
and I'm a mom. And also, I love acting and helping out in the community.
She loves
Basically
acting.
who I am.
Winstina, were you born in Sierra Leone?
Yes, I was.
And you actually grew up there?
Yes, I was there until I was 10, and then I relocated to the United States.
Right. So you've been in the United States since you were 10.
Yes.
But you definitely recall how life was before you relocated to the States. How was it life when you were a young girl growing up in Sierra Leone?
Basically, life was, I would say to me, life was very incredible. It was because it's like family. It's united. I grew up, started out with my mother, but my mother relocated to the United States, I guess, to get a better life for us. So my aunt ended up raising us. So it was a big family, her kids, you know, me, my brothers, her children. So it was a fun household
Right.
to grow up in. And I know I recall while my mother was there, like I would say, acting has always been a part of me because my mother was a teacher in school where she would put up stage plays where we would perform, we would play, just have fun before she relocated when I was about 6. So I was there until I was 10 and then came to follow her in the United States.
Right. That's interesting. So, Winstina, can we have some background knowledge on your education?
Basically, I came to the United States in elementary. Finished up, I went to Seton Elementary, which is in D.C. Northwest. And then I ended up going to Shaw Junior High School, which is also in D.C., and I was supposed to go to Duke Ellington, which was in D.C., the School of Art, but I ended up relocating to Maryland. My parents moved out, so I went to Duval High School. And afterwards, I went to PG Community College to earn my registered nurse degree there. And afterwards, I went to Wharton University, where I earned my master's degree last year, and I'm now in school trying to earn my PhD in nursing as well.
Wow, that's interesting. And you decided to go in for nursing. Could we have a reason why you had to take up this choice?
Basically, as we all know, us African that come in America, our parents always think nursing is the best. My true love that I wanted to go to school for, like I said, was acting. I wanted to go to New York, but I had my daughter, so I had to stay behind. So my mom said the best thing to do is just do nursing. At first, I didn't want to do it, but since I did it, I really felt I love it because it gives me a chance to help out to others. So that's one of the incredible things about being a nurse is helping others that are sick or to get better.
And would you have gone for a different discipline if it wasn't nursing, or you were bent on doing nursing?
No, if I had a choice that I was going to school for, my number one choice was to do, it was still education, but it was early childhood education. I also earned my theater and art degree. That was basically growing up, that's what I wanted to do.
Now, Winstina, away from this show, we've been talking about you being a philanthropist. Could you just tell us more about this? For how long have you been involved in supporting the less privileged in your community?
Basically, I'll say for as long as I can remember. But it was, because I know when I was in elementary and middle school, we used to go out to feed in school. You can volunteer to go out on the weekend to help, feed the less privileged and to go to the soup kitchen, which I always used to do because I just felt like, if I have it, others don't. If I can help to give it to them, let me just try. So we used to do that. I was in Sister to Sister. That's like a organization to help younger children see a positive intellect in life.
Right.
And afterwards, as I get older, my mom and I started sending food basically to Sierra Leone and clothes. Because in America, we have a lot of clothes. Sometimes we wear them 1-2 times and we don't use them no more.
Right.
Basically, we'll take them all out, send them back home, and just let people, less privileged people, take whatever they need. And we usually do that on every quarterly, like every 6 months, send clothes and just feed the whole population that we're able to, as much money that we have to feed in Makani, like a city in Freetown. So that's where we usually do that as often as possible.
Now, did the ambiguous political situation of Sierra Leone, which you and I know about, also contribute to getting you involved in humanitarian activities?
Yes, basically because sometimes, even if we usually go ourselves, or I have my uncle that's there, he has an organization that's called Big Brother, Big Sister, which usually we pair off with to help us to make sure whatever we're sending there reach the people that we want, to reach.
Right. And so, do you just do this as an individual, or you have kind of partner organizations that support you in this your humanitarian works?
Right now we're doing it as an individual company, but like I said, my uncle also, who is stationed in Africa, has his own organization, which is Big Brother, Big Sister, who is helping us to make sure we reach the people that we're supposed to reach. But financial-wise or any type of assistance from anywhere, no, it's solely, us bringing it together.
Right. I also understand that you do all of this under the banner of Immaculate Charities, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what has been the feedback from the people of Sierra Leone, the people who benefit from these kind gestures of yours?
It's been very incredible. And one point, which was in 2012, I think it was 2011 when we went out. We were on the when my mom went out. It wasn't me. When she went to do this, she was featured in the newspaper, and everyone is really, really proud of what we are doing, and it's giving us support. Whatever support that we need, they elected to give, and the people that we're supporting are very, very grateful.
Okay, Winstina Taylor, thank you so much for this introductory phase of our conversation, which is quite listened to in especially the eastern province of Sierra Leone. I have a good number of listeners out there, especially Freetown as well. Winstina, thank you so much. I'll be back with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Winstina Taylor is the main guest in this edition of African Cocktail. Soon we shall be moving to Maryland to meet the next guest in this edition of the show. Okay, let's have some music, then we'll be right back.
De Molière, depuis qu'elle est partie, je n'ai plus l'envie d'aimer. Soulier, reviens-moi mon cœur. André Joël, Elie. L'amour que j'ai pour toi est un amour sincère. Soulier, écoute-moi bébé, je suis loin de moi, tout près de mon cœur. Chérie, ça te soulie. André, Achille, écoute ça mon fils. Et bah, et là, venez. Soulier, sais-tu que moi je t'aime? Pourquoi es-tu si loin de moi? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, je t'adore? Ah, André Joseph, le petit daddy. Est-ce que tu sais ce que je sais, bébé? Est-ce que tu crois en ce que moi je crois, ma doudou? Ma chou a neve, mi ne ma tinga tutume. Ma iwa e a mi ne ma tinga sate. Ma chou a neve, mi ne ma tinga tutume. Ma iwa e a mi ne ma tinga sate. Aïe aïe aïe, André le maître, la petite bijou. Quand moi j'ai pour t'avoir, je peux mourir de joie. Ta petite tête bébé me fait couler les larmes à Sony. Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime et je t'adore? Est-ce que tu sais que moi je t'aime, bébé?
His name is Timmy Toro in that beautiful one titled Amour. Since Timmy Toro is an artist who hails from the central region of Cameroon. We are in Central Africa. And of course, you listen to African Cocktail, the 50th edition with Ernest Kanjo this Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2014. In something like 60 seconds, we shall be moving to Maryland to meet the next guest in this edition of African Cocktail. She is a young gospel artist, up and coming. Don't go away. African Cocktail coming to from Africa Radio 61497-5097 and the number to dial to get in touch with us if you feel inspired and you think that your voice has to be heard in this edition of the show.
André Joël, Elie, si tu m'entends Sony, écoute ma chanson. Tu y trouveras ce que...
Okay, we're definitely going to come back to that one by Timmy Toro. Time for us to move on to our next guest. My name is Ruth Jika. But before we get Ruth on the air, listen to this.
This is my testimony. When the doctor said it was impossible, you came into my room and made it possible. Today I have my own child. Your own burning light. Thank you more than able God. Hallelujah. Whatever the challenge in your life, my God is more than able to see you through. Hallelujah. God
is able, beautiful gospel piece there coming to you from Africa region, of course, from African Cocktail, and that is Ruth Njika in that very fresh track, which was launched last Saturday in Maryland. The artist will be telling us about this album and, of course, her career just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. So don't just go away. Sound, the handiwork of my very good friend Walter Blackson. Walter Blackson was guest on this show some time ago, and of course, when you get such beautiful music, then you can think of Walter Blackson. He's very dexterous on his audio console. God is able. Ruth Njika is the brain, the author of this very beautiful piece. And of course, she is the next guest in this edition of African Cocktail at exactly 29 minutes past 11. Time for us to move to Maryland and say welcome on the show, Ruth Njika. Welcome, Ruth.
Thank you.
So, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
I just listened to that very inspiring one titled God is Able. It's so fascinating, Ruth.
I know.
Just tell us a little bit about the song.
Yeah, the song God is Able is God was just telling me what he can do, you know. I wanted to try, and I was about 5 months pregnant. And I was wondering, you know, if I'll be able to carry my own child, if I'll be able to have my own child. And God was just ministering to me in this song that I am able to do it, you know, and I'll even do exceeding abundantly than what I'm even thinking, you know. And that's what God has done for my daughter.
Right.
But he has really done it, and I'm just expressing it in this song. I just want to thank the Lord.
Okay, it's a beautiful piece, I must confirm. And so, Ruth, you just launched Yahweh, which is your maiden album, I assume. The event took place last Saturday out in Maryland. Let us begin by finding out how it went. Were you satisfied?
Yeah, I was very satisfied with the way the event went and how everything went. I just want to thank God because, you know, he did it his way. And I want to thank God for all those who made it, you know, at the event because they make it happen. And I want to thank God for these men of God, you know. Pastor Sama, Pastor Takere, Pastor Gabriel, Pastor and Mrs. Beckham, Evangelist Epe, Pastor and Mrs. Walter Talifu, Prophetess Lucy, Mommy Baffo, Apostle and Dr. Robinson Fondom, Bishop Boni Eta. I just want to thank God for them. You know, they were all there. They came to launch me into this ministry. And I also want to thank God for the background vocals who came. They were available for us to do a live performance of I Love You, Lord, expressing our love for God. I want to thank God for my dancers, Pauline, Karim, Desmond. You know, I bless God for all of them. I thank God, you know, for the guitarists. Brother Iseme. I thank God for Emmanuel Eta, who was there to play the keyboard. I thank God for Angel. I thank God for Bethany, you know, for Fortune. You know, they make this happen. And the artist of the day, you know, the artist that were invited, Adria Kemper, she was there. I just want to thank God for her. I thank God for Sarah Ryan, you know, who came. I just bless God for them. I thank God for the CMFI family, you know, both in Riverdale and Westminster. They came and they participated, you know, so well. I really thank God. All this just brought tears in my eyes. The love that I saw from these people, from my family, from my friends, you know, from my mom, the Bhutanese. I just want to say thank you, you know. all of you, you made this happen. You made the event satisfactory, and I bless God for you all.
Right,
Thank
some
you very
huge,
much.
huge support there to.
And I thank God too for my brother Oluwamole.
Right.
He was in charge of the sound system. You know, he made it happen. I just thank God.
Right. Handsome support there to the very young and talented Ruth Njika. Ruth is a 12-track album, and I would imagine it wasn't a day's job to put all of these together. Could you just tell us when you started working on this project, and how long did it take you to complete it?
Wow. It wasn't easy though. So I started writing songs. Everything started 2008. That's when I wrote the first song.
Right.
Oh my Lord, you know. I was still in Cameroon at that time, so I wrote that song. I was just looking at what God has done, you know, leaving the university for my background and everything, and I was seeing how God has carried me this far, you know, until I was graduating. So I was on the computer decks, you know, and God was giving me the song, Oh My Lord. So I started it in 2008. From 2008 to 2014, I've been writing songs, just writing.
Right.
And 2013 to 2014, you know, I went to the studio, and it was realized in 2014. I just give God the glory.
Right. I've randomly selected 3 tracks from the album Ruth, and would like us to talk about these tracks a little bit. What are you saying in Yahweh, which is the main track?
In the song Yahweh, you know, I'm simply expressing the greatness and the mighty deeds of Yahweh in creation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How he created the heavens and the earth, the sea, and even us, you know, us human beings, you know. I'm just acknowledging all that, you know, the Lord has done in creation, in Yahweh.
Then Psalms 1 could be obvious, but why Psalms 1?
Psalm 1 is a very powerful song, you know.
Right.
We really need it, you know, to survive, you know. We need it. It's a revelation for us, you know. If you want to be successful, you know, if you want prosperity, you want peace, you want love, you know, we need to put Psalm 1 into action. We need to practice it. We need to practice Psalm 1. And we'll see that, you know, our lives will never be the same, because when we put Psalm 1 into practice, you know, just like you said, you will be like a tree planted by the rivers, you know, whose fruits bear in season, whose leaves never wither, and whatever you will do will prosper. Just because you apply Psalms 1 in your life. It's a very powerful scripture that we need to put into action.
Okay, briefly, there is this other one, you are ageless.
Yeah. You are ageless. God was just giving me the revelation, you know. God has no beginning, and he has no end. The Bible makes us to understand that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But we don't know how he came about. We cannot say, okay, this is from this period to this period. For us, like human beings, you have a time that you are born. It is recorded. You know, you have a time that when you're no more, you know, they say, okay, the time that you leave the earth, this period. But with God, we don't know. You know, nobody knows the beginning. Nobody knows his end. So he is speechless. We cannot explain it. He is the Alpha and the Omega of our lives, because he knows the beginning and the end of our life. But when it comes to him, he is ageless. No one knows his age.
That's quite inspirational there. Okay, Ruth, to record 12 songs and have them compiled in such a beautiful package would definitely have meant a lot of financial material and human resources put together.
Yeah, putting it together, it wasn't like easy, you know. We needed the money to put it together. You needed, you know, the support, everything. But I want to thank God because he made it possible, you know. I was able to have a producer that I could work with, you know. I was able to have the background vocals that I could work with financially, you know. My husband was there to support, you know, and I just bless God for that. I just thank God.
So, what do you think makes this album palatable? Why must people grab copies and listen to it?
The album Yahweh is, you must have it. It's a must-have because it speaks to every situation. You know, whatever you need, You know, is it the album Yahweh? Is it healing? You know, there are songs there that will minister to you. Is it deliverance? There's a song that will minister to you. Is it prosperity? There's something that will minister to you. So it's an album that you can't afford to not have it. You must have it, you know.
Okay. A cocktail of everything there. Ruth, the gospel music industry in your country seems to be making great strides. Do you have a special feeling being part of this success story?
Yeah, I just want to bless God for the honor and privilege, you know, to be part of this success story, because growing up, you know, I saw that, you know, gospel singing was all in the hands of the Nigerians, you know. It was just them, that's all we got. But right now, God is raising young, talented, and gifted, you know, young Cameroonians, you know, who preach out His word, you know, through songs. And I just bless God, you know, for this shift, you know, that Cameroonians have positioned themselves to the point where God can really use them mightily, you know, and I thank God that I'm part of this. I'm really happy.
Okay, Ruth Njika, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and talking about this album. But before you go away, where can interested persons find copies of Yahweh, and what will you tell them as a last word?
Yeah, to have Yahweh, you get Yahweh on Amazon. You have it on iTunes, cdbaby.com. You have it there, and even some African stores do have it.
Okay.
So, but if you really need it, you know, you can call my number, 240-422-6808, and I will send it to you. Thank you very much.
Ruth
and I just
Njika,
want to say, as you buy this album and you listen to it, may the Lord open heaven, you know, over you and your family, that the blessing of the Lord will be upon you. In Jesus' mighty name.
a beautiful one there. We say amen, Ruth. Thank you so much for making it a date with us on African Cocktail. Do have a fantastic rest of the day out there.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. I was so blessed to be on air. Thank you so much.
Right. Okay. Ruth Njika is her name. She's young, talented, dynamic, and of course, very, very inspiring. You got it yourself. When she speaks, you know that somebody has spoken. Thank you so much, Ruth, and may God bless you. This is African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo. Definitely, we're going to stay in Maryland this time to talk movies. Desiree I will be yours just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. But for now, let's listen to some music.
Quand j'avais beaucoup d'argent, j'avais beaucoup d'amis. Maintenant que c'est fini, ils m'ont tous abandonné. Quand j'avais beaucoup combat, j'avais beaucoup copines. Maintenant que c'est fini, elles m'ont tous abandonné. Quand j'avais beaucoup d'argent, j'avais beaucoup d'amis. Maintenant que c'est fini, ils m'ont tous abandonné. Quand j'avais beaucoup combat, j'avais beaucoup copines. Et maintenant que c'est fini, elles m'ont tout abandonné. C'est ça la vie, c'est chacun pour soi. Ne compte pas sur ton frère, tu seras déçu. C'est ça la vie, c'est chacun pour soi. Ne compte pas sur ton gosse, tu seras déçu. N'est-ce pas, Philippe Didier, à Libreville? Quand les amis ont des problèmes, ils m'appellent au secours. Quand j'ai eu des problèmes, ils m'ont abandonné. La confiance a disparu, il n'y a plus de vrais amis. Quand j'ai eu des problèmes, ils m'ont abandonné. Henri Pascal Bolando Wasengae, HPD. Quand les amis ont des problèmes, ils m'appellent au secours. Quand j'ai eu des problèmes, ils m'ont abandonné. La confiance a disparu, il n'y a plus de vrais amis. Quand j'ai eu des problèmes, ils m'ont abandonné. C'est ça la vie, c'est chacun pour soi. Ne compte pas sur ton frère, tu seras déçu. C'est ça la vie, c'est chacun pour soi. Ne compte pas sur ton gosse, tu seras déçu. Jean-Yves Messon, le barreau du Gabon.
Okay, we had her on this show some time ago. Her name is Desiree I. She is an actress and film producer. She lives in Maryland here in the United States of America. She is so talented. Then, you would love to watch her in the movies. Desiree I is our next guest in this edition of African Cocktail, coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo this day, Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2014. Don't go away. Meantime, you're listening to that beautiful Makosa piece titled Chacun pour soi. It's by Benji Mateke. Benji Mateke is one of those young Cameroonian artists who have hit the mark and, of course, who have made Cameroon proud. In terms of music, this is African Cocktail.
Daniel Bajon, watch the soil. La vie d'aujourd'hui, c'est chacun pour soi. Les compasses d'Ogos, tu seras déçu. Tais-toi, Polycarpe. Mana Jomo Michel, on est au TV.
And so, what's in the news as far as the movies are concerned? There is an upcoming movie which everyone is awaiting with a lot of appetite. 48 hours. 48 hours. That sounds really serious. Okay, the producer of that movie will be with us just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. She's also a fantastic and talented actress. Her name is Desiree I. And of course, Desiree and team are in the laboratory working on these products, which will be out anytime from now. As soon as they're done, then we shall be served with one other beautiful movie piece coming to you from the African diaspora. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo. Exactly 17 minutes to 12. Time for us to move to MD, where Desiree is already on the line. If you are with us this morning, we say welcome to you, Desiree.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, how are you today?
You know what? I woke up, so I'm blessed. Big chance that I can wake up. I feel blessed. There's nothing for me to be complaining about. I'm on the show with you this morning. I have my whole cast listening. So shout out to the cast of 48 Hours right now who's supporting. So yeah, I'm in good spirit.
I know I can get that from your voice, Desiree. It's been quite a while since we had you on this show. What has been going on since then, Desiree?
There's been so much happening. I gotta first, before I do anything, I gotta thank God for every blessing that has happened in my life up until this point, because it's a miracle. Constant miracles that are constantly happening. So I can't take credit for it. Nobody can take credit for it. He's the one who's truly blessing me. So I gotta just, praise God for a minute. But since we last spoke, we did the premiere for Payback. All Things is out on DVD now, directed by John Uche. I just wrote and produced my first film, 48 Hours, with the help of the most, beautiful and incredible woman by the name of Miss Winstina Taylor, who you have on the show today. That's like my big sister right there. So it's been a lot. There's been a lot going on.
Right. Now, Desiree, before we talk about 48 Hours, we have also seen you featuring in All Things by John Uche, which has just been released. Could you just tell us the character you are playing in that movie, and what was the experience working in this one by John Uche?
Working with John Uche is always an experience, because this is someone who is like a mentor. He's someone who's going to cultivate your talent and push you beyond any expectations you may have had for yourself before even doing the film. I played a character by the name of Moji. This is a very sort of spiritual, uplifting film, and I played the relentless jerk in the film. I don't want to accept prize. I'm like the comedic appeal to the film, because if anybody who knows me know that they'll know Moji is the opposite of who I am. You got strong puns, you have attitude, you have a vivacious character that is just all-knowing, and she doesn't want to hear anything. So it was amazing. It was an amazing all-star cast. Shout out to Sue London, Miss Paula, Maureen, Diamond Briggs. Emmanuel Minister, like, yeah, that was a movie right there. You guys need to go get that right now.
Okay, now to your own production, Desiree. You just came back from location where you were filming the upcoming 48 hours. First, how did this first phase of production go?
You know what? Having worked with some of the most legendary people in this business, like John Luce and Mr. Robert Peters, I learned a particular precision on how to work. And if you want something to kind of make it for yourself, I felt that there was a lack in a certain area genre, which was action-packed films in Nollywood, especially in Nollywood, USA. So I wanted to, as a female writer, do it myself. I had a great conversation with Miss Winstina Taylor, and she kind of motivated me. And she didn't even know that she motivated me. And I was just in my laboratory. I sat in front of the computer for like 12 hours straight, and I just wrote it. And with the help of my team, my director, Kim Babora, my amazing cast from Paula to Claudio to Jason Klein, to Beth Davis, I had some superstars in my film that came out to support because they believed in the project. It's an action-packed film that happens in 2 days. The whole premise of the film is 2 days. I don't want to give anything away. Wait until you see the trailer. Wait until you see the poster. But trust and believe this is something that was missing, and I wanted to give it to you. This is kind of my gift. That I love Nollywood. I love filmmaking. And I love doing things that are unexpected. Claudio just gave you guys that with Captive. Quintus just gave you that with Ike. So I'm about to give it to you now with 48 hours.
Right. So I understand the second phase of production has just begun. How is it going on?
Production is finished. My team really showed up. We shot this film literally in 6 days. No joke. We did 17, 18-hour days, 6 days straight. Right now we're in post-production. We're in editing. We're getting ready for a couple of film festivals that will begin in September, but we're taking our time. We first want to introduce the film to Tribeca Film Festival because I'm a New Yorker at heart. I come from a Hollywood background, so we want to take it through there. We want to see how far we can go with Tribeca, then enter for Cannes, and then next year introduce it to Nollywood and see what happens. This is a beautiful ride, and, my whole team is behind me, and I know Nollywood is going to come out and support because this is just a Nollywood cast from beginning to end. So,
Okay, Desiree, briefly, what is this story all about, and what inspired you to write it?
The story is about a husband and a wife named Giselle and Sebastian White. And the premise behind it is Giselle gets kidnapped, and everything happens within 2 days, finding out where she is and who the kidnapper is. But there is a bigger lesson within the story. Any movie I'm going to create, I'm going to write, I'm going to give you a lesson. And the lesson is based on friendship and the friends that you keep. You have to know the people that you keep in your company. Are they for you or are they against you? Are they with you because you're riding tall, or are they with you because they want something from you? There are going to be people in your life that are only with you when you're on top. But once you hit the bottom, they disappear. So the film kind of cultivates on that. She has people around her that are with her because she's on top, but don't necessarily like her, but aren't necessarily happy for her. So it's a transition between friendship, and it's a transition between a man trying to find his wife. This man loves his wife. He wants his wife back. And that's all the intrigue and the beautiful sex appeal to the action, the fighting scenes. Oh my God, I can't wait to see you guys see this.
So, who are some of the actors featuring in this movie, and when do we expect it?
Some of the actors featured, like I named before, we have this incredible Cameroonian actor coming out. His name is Jason Klein. This is the second time I'm playing a movie with him. The first film I did with him was Palanga. It's a comedy that should be coming out by the end of this year, if not the top of next year. We have, Oscar-winning Mr. Bette Davis. We have Mr. Paula. We have Miss Paula from Texas, who is like killing it right now with every movie that she's a part of. Of course, we have Miss Winstina Taylor. I have a young lady by the name of Fatih Kia, Miss Agnes Atom, Mr. Claudio Obet. It's just an all-star offer as, get ready for something special. I took my time on this. The reason why I wrote this film is because I wanted to do something as a young woman. I wanted to show that there are young females in Nollywood right now that are writing hits, that are writing blockbusters, that are writing big films that the men in Hollywood need to pay attention to.
Okay.
Because we're coming.
Okay, Desiree, do you plan any premiere?
Yes, I plan for a lot of things for this film, but right now, we're in post-production. I'm not trying to speed anything really quickly. I want to get through editing. I want to make sure this movie is correct and beautiful. Sound, picture quality is perfection.
Right.
The perfectionist to understand when it does come out, okay, she thinks it's perfect.
Okay.
To expect perfection.
Right. Okay, Desiree, thank you so much. We'll definitely come back to 48 hours when it is ready. Thank you so much for stopping by and telling us more about the movie.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. Good morning to everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Her name is Desiree, actress and film producer. She is working on 48 hours, and anytime from now, we shall be savoring that beautiful piece of artistic work. African Cocktail is coming to you from Africa Radio. Lots and lots of people talking in this edition of the show, the resumption edition, of course. So just right ahead, we shall be moving to Central Africa, the Central African sub-region, and precisely in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, where our correspondent is on standby. Remember that our main guest is Winstina Taylor. She's still with us, and we are still going to talk. She has so much to tell us in this edition of the show. Just listen to this music, then we'll be right back. Also in the minutes ahead, we shall be moving to Cape Town, South Africa, where Solomon Atta is on standby. He will be telling us what has been transpiring in that beautiful country. And of course, you may also be listening to Batimo FM's Banyo Titus, who is also our Belgian correspondent. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio. My name is Ernest, Kanjo. Don't just go away. It's exactly 5 minutes to 12.
Get
So, how have Cameroonians been coping with the dismal performance of the Indomitable Lions? That is the national football team that had a very, very rough performance, a rough time in the ongoing World Cup in Brazil. We are going to hear from our correspondent in Central Africa. Her name is JJ Shom. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. This is African Cocktail.
Pendant que les autres travaillent, tu passes ton temps à jouer au dernier au lido. Après, tu arrives la crise. Qui te dit qu'il n'y a pas la crise au palais d'étudier? Hein?
Okay, from Chacun pour Soi, we move on to Rosie Muna. It's still by Benji Mateke. We are still doing the Cameroonian music right. Okay, lots and lots of interesting things coming up in this edition of African Cocktail. Rosie Muna by Benji Mateke. Beautiful Makosa piece coming to you from the littoral region of Cameroon. And of course, we are in Douala, Cameroon, where one of our correspondents, JJ Shom, is now on the line to tell us what has been happening in the Central African sub-region. Good morning, JJ Shom. Oh, should I say good afternoon out there in Douala. You're welcome to African Cocktail.
Good morning to you, Ernest. Good morning, listeners of African Cocktail in the United States of America. Good morning, good afternoon to those in Africa. You are welcome to the banks of the River Buri in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, from where I am reporting. And as I must say, I like that song that just stopped playing. You know, when I was very young, I used to like that song a lot. Well,
Right.
hello.
So, what has been going on out there, JJ?
Yeah, Ernest and fans of African Cocktail, so much water has flown under the bridge of the Central African sub-region since we took a recess in the month of June. We have kept our eyes and ears open, our mouths shut, yet our minds have been recording the happenings. For today, Ernest, we have decided to pick just a few important events that took place in Cameroon within the month of June, beginning with the one which, of course, is not so palatable. I am referring to the 2014 World Cup, which is ongoing as we speak. Ernest, but for the fact that we are news reporters, we won't be so comfortable to come back to what has been described here as the worst thing that ever happened to Cameroon's hitherto rich football history. And you may want to ask me how Cameroonians reacted to the dismal performance of the Indomitable Lions in their Brazil 2014 adventure. Well, Douala, from where I am reporting, experienced some of its most gloomy football moments on the days the Lions were playing. Beginning with the June 13th encounter with Brazil, where they got a one-goal-nil defeat from Mexico. It was really disappointing because Cameroonians here in the economic capital could not only be saying, you couldn't read the disappointment on their faces, but from the manifestation of anger which led to many criticizing the actors as well as the officials of the delegation to Brazil. As if that wasn't enough, a second defeat from Croatia further put the Lions and their supporters apart. Angry and cursing fans characterized the streets and neighborhoods of the city, with dwellers asking countless unanswered questions. Why did the coach not field in this or that player? Why did he let this or that player in the game? Why was there delay in paying allowances? Why would the Cameroonian delegation to Brazil comprise over 300 people? Such questions really, really abound. And when the Lions lost to Brazil in the gallery match to final back home, it was clear their relationship with fans had been brutally marred. Now people are saying something has to be done, and urgently, if football must continue to be the king sport that puts the country's image at the top. Being committed football lovers as they are, Cameroonians have continued to watch all the matches of the tournament with an unending appetite and have turned their attention to teams they consider serious. Some of those teams they are easily caught supporting with a lot of emotion are the Netherlands and Colombia, taking into consideration that all African teams have gone home. All was not gloomy this past June. There were, however, some glamorous happenings that beat out the bitterness in Cameroonians. One of such happenings was the spectacular victory of the country's leading contemporary artist, Stanley Eno, at the 2014 MTV African Music Awards. The talented rapper grabbed the coveted Best New Art trophy amidst joy and excitement from the entire country. Stanley traveled to South Africa to personally receive the trophy, and upon return, he was saluted by Cameroon's Minister of Culture, Amadou Muna. It should be noted that Stanley Eno is the first Cameroonian to ever receive an MTV award. The rapper, who is based in Douala, rose to recognition in 2012 when he released his famous single, Ante, which observers describe as one of the most popular tracks Cameroon's contemporary music has heard for quite some time now. It quickly swept admiration in and out of Cameroon, not only because of Ante, but also because of the singer's inner talent, which can be observed in Tumbubos, which is his latest single. And I must say that he just did a duo with the lead singer of Brick and Lace, known as Landa. Thus, we did not settle on the MTV Awards glory when another trophy for Stanley and probably other Cameroonian artists is at the corner. This time, he is nominated for the African Music Magazine Awards, AFRIMA, taking place in Texas, USA, later this morning. Stanley Eno is nominated alongside Sine in the Best Central African Male Artist category. Other nominees in the same category are DRC's Bali Ipupa, Congo Brazzaville's Fair Gola, Burundi's Baveto, Lil P, Nyetunze, and Angola's Anselmo Ralph. In the Best Central African Female Artist category, we have Cameroon's Lady Pons and Gusha, Gabon's Ariel T, Cape Verde's Susanna Lubrano, and Chezeni, and Angola's Ariel. Stanley Eno, who is fondly known here as Bayangi Boy, is also nominated in the newcomer category. While music lovers are hoping their icons will carry home trophies, Cameroonian online reporters and website owners are hoping that corporate bodies and other interested sponsors would step in to make their job more enabling. They also are hoping that reporting online would gain more credibility and respect. This can only happen if reporters respect the basic tenets of online. A meeting to that effect took place recently in Douala, the bloggers hangout. The come together brought together most entertainment bloggers, and among some of the major resolutions taken, bloggers said that they were going to start sharing content and using blogging as a platform for advertisement. Present at the Douala Bloggers Hangout were representatives of many prominent Cameroonian online magazines, including TikTok stars. The event was being reported live on TikTok stars, with input from Germany, USA, and Douala. Sponsored by Ethiopian Airlines, the Douala Bloggers Hangout, which was the first of its kind, was initiated and organized by Adeline Sedekamga, publisher of the renowned South African magazine. So, Ernest, so much has really taken place in the Central African sub-region for now. This is what we had put together for this edition and for our fabulous listeners. So we will be back next Wednesday with a heavier package, hopefully. And I remain JJ Shaw for African Cocktail all the way from Douala.
Douala, the city of gold, the city of hard-working people. JJ Shom there reporting from the banks of the river Wuri. Okay. That is our Central African correspondent, and this is African Cocktail. For those of you just joining us, you're welcome on board. We still have much in store for you in this edition of the show. Remember that Winstina Taylor is still with us, and once we are done with our correspondence, we shall settle with a heated one with our main guest. Okay, we have Belgium, we have South Africa. Who comes first is what we're going to discover just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. But then Willie de Paris is here with L'eau de consolation.
Action. W qui pulvérise l'ambiance à travers l'atmosphère.
Apprenez à vous taire quand les grands parlent. Voici donc Bouki Solo et Willy de Paris. Ça mérite quand même un lot de consolation. Toutes ces années que j'ai passées à tes côtés dans la galère. Ça mérite quand même un lot de consolation. Toutes ces années que j'ai passées à tes côtés dans la misère. Au lieu de cela, au lieu de ça, tu me quittes. Juste au moment où tu commences à travailler. Oh.
Edani Manduka, Kayaka.
L'amour est sucré quand on est séparé, oh oh. L'amour est sucré quand on est distant. L'amour est sucré quand on est séparé, oh oh. Pour qui je peux te biper le matin, tu peux me biper à midi. On peut se biper le soir, oh, avant de faire de dos. Ernest est sommet, la grosse voiture de Paris. Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants.
Chancelier.
Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants.
Populaire.
Dolo subandolo, dolo obandolo. Je peux te biper le matin, tu peux me biper à midi. On peut se biper le soir ou avant de faire dodo. À Selga, les jeunes passants de Galima, la référence. Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants. Pendant plus de 15 ans, tu m'as pompé des enfants. Dolo obandolo, dolo subandolo.
Okay, just like in Cameroon, in the Central African sub-region, so much has been happening in Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town. We are in the southern region of the continent, where our man Solomon Atta is now on the line to tell us just what has been happening, especially in this very eventful month of June. Solomon, you're welcome to African Cocktail.
Thank you and welcome to Africa. Welcome to Johannesburg. The city of gold, where the sun has just gone down under the clouds. And just going to this week, as we regain all the listeners' attention on the show, I'll be giving you tips and tidbits in what has been making news over the month of June.
Solomon, I understand there has been the second State of Nation address, probably by the president. So, what is that all about?
Yes, Ernest, bearing in mind that this was an election year in South Africa, after the president was inaugurated on the 24th of May 2014, he had to again give the opening of Parliament, in which there was also a State of the Nation address. Bear in mind that the election that we had in May was electing parliamentarians at the level of the province and electing premiers and electing the president of the country. So after that had happened and the president was inaugurated, he had to have the official opening of South Africa's fifth democratically elected president. During that session, which was a joint session of both the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, he had to deliver what we understand as the second State of the Nation address, bearing in mind that in February he already delivered what was the State of the Nation address, but given that we had an election, he had to redo it again. But this time, very poignantly, eloquently expressed within this State of the Nation address that was delivered on the 17th of June, was more of the programs that are contained in the ANC manifesto. You remember that when they had an election, they had to take their manifesto to the electorate, and this was now because they had won the majority in that election. They were now trying to enshrine some of those things that were in the manifesto into the State of the Nation address.
Then I also understand that the Olympic hero, Oscar Pistorius, is back in court.
Indeed, and your listeners will remember that prior to June, Oscar Pistorius, who is in court accused of murdering his girlfriend, Rivers Income, on 14th of February 2013, was sent. In fact, the prosecution had applied that he be sent to a psychiatric observation, and the judge had granted 30 days of that, and so the case, he was back in court on Monday, the 30th of June, just to continue with the trial, because the trial, and your listeners would remember, is still ongoing, and there is leading other evidence coming through from the psychiatric assessment if he had any issues of mental illness or whatever. Those evidence are being scrutinized in court now.
Okay, Solomon, there is definitely news about the World Cup as well. We know it's not been so bright for Africa. How are South Africans feeling this dismal performance of African teams at the World Cup?
In fact, the football fans in this part of the world and in this country in particular are very much unhappy. First, after they've given up on the fact that our national team, Bafana Bafana, will not be participating, all our hopes were on the 5 representatives and that were representing the continent: Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Nigeria, and Ghana. But now that all of them have been eliminated, with the 2 teams, Nigeria and Algeria, making through to the qualifying for the round of 16, in fact, the football fans in this country wish we didn't even go, because the continent, the 1.5 billion people, 1.1 billion people, of this continent, felt that the 5 teams that were representing them, in fact, when I speak to some of the football lovers in this country, they're of the view that the 5 representations from this continent were very few compared to South America and Europe. So as far as they are concerned, the soccer extravaganza that is taking place in Brazil has not happened. They have now renewed their hopes, and they are looking forward to Russia 2018 and hoping that Bafana will also qualify. But on another note, while we talked about Bafana now, Bafana does not have a coach as of August. So the present coach, Golden Eagles, in contract will not be renewed, so SAFA indicated last month. Also, two names, Stephen Keshi, who is the present coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, alongside Carlos Queiroz, present coach of the national team of Iran, have been shortlisted. So there's an imminent announcement due in the middle of this month, Ernest.
Right. So we also understand, Solomon, that the 5-month industrial action by workers of the platinum sector is drawing to an end. That should be good news then.
That is good news. Ernest, I have to say that that's welcome news. Just close to the end of June, the organized level represented by AMCO, they signed a deal with 3 platinum producers to end a protracted 5-month strike. And this, the finance minister, Planta Nene, has blamed the economy has contracted 0.6% in the first quarter because of this protracted strike. You should remember that South Africa being mining, especially platinum, is a very important, very important, I should emphasize, component of our economy. So because of the 5-month strike, the economy kind of suffered a little bit, reporting a contraction of 0.6%. So it was welcome news, both to the entire country and also more especially to those striking miners, because during strike, the 5-month strike, they lost quite a lot of money. In fact, some estimated that 8 billion rand of lost wages, and the 3 companies involved losing more than 20 billion rand in lost revenue. So as a whole, the economy lost more than 32 billion rand in revenue as a whole. So the fact that the strike came to an end, because this is a very important element of our economy, it's welcome relief. It's big relief for us, and we are hoping that the deal that was struck and signed 3 or 4 days ago would be one of the deals that would see the sector regain its prominence in the world.
Definitely, it would be so fantastic if that sector resumes, if work actually resumes in that sector. Solomon, it's a bright day here in the city of Columbus, Ohio. What does it look like out there? What is the weather in Johannesburg?
Ernest, it was a fine day today, just a little bit crispy, because we are in full winter season. Otherwise, there were no rain. So we had clear skies today. The temperatures peaked at 18 degrees centigrade. So as far as job workers are concerned, they're retiring home now, and they would retire home to not so cold. 2 weeks ago it was quite crispy, very cold, and we actually had to be advised to use warm water bottles and electric blankets. And also, while the weather is chill, Di Maria, the guy who stopped the African country, Nigeria, from progressing, is trending, or Switzerland actually, is trending in South Africa, having scored the lone goal that saw Argentina qualify at the quarterfinal. And that's it from us. Here we call our barbecue the braais. The braais are going to be taking place indoors for the next 2 months, because until spring, for the next 2 months we're going to have severe winter weather here. So all the barbecues, what we call in the United States barbecue, we call it the braai, having some meat on the grill and having some beers and inviting friends over. All of that is going to happen indoors the next 2 months.
Okay, Solomon, thank you so much for that very sumptuous package from South Africa. We hope to have you again next week for yet another package of South Connect. And for those of you who have just tuned in, this is African Cocktail, the 55th edition, coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest, Kanjo, and of course, Winstina Taylor, who is on the other side. She will be back on the air in just a moment.
Associé l'empereur Tchatcho Mbala Kashobi Banyame Bele le roi parapluie à car arrière et panzani mais peut saber bolingote le président Malik Towe très très fort Yoyo Clinton Abidjan associé Nangai Kalanenge akope lokola ya lobaka te atangisi be mai oyibi mobimba koteli ngai na midi ayibi kaka mbeto nasala nini ezali lokola lisano ya nintendo batika makase epai nyonso bize ezali meyozali nini oyibinga mbeto yobosani kana mbe tabipe ezali meyoyibi utiage yobosani artisan de chéri.
His name is Fali Ipupa in that beautiful one titled Associate, a 2007 piece. Hey, Fali Ipupa from the DRC. We are now doing the DRC ride. But then we're not going to have this one in its entirety because it's time for us to move back to Maryland where Winstina Tello is back on the line. Winstina, once again, you're welcome. Hello, Winstina.
Hello?
Yes, Winstina Tello, you are 5 on 5. So, you're welcome back.
Thank you.
So, Winstina, for how long have you been an actress?
Technically, to be frankly speaking, all my life. But for the record, it's like since 2009.
Right. So, which are some of the movies you featured in so far?
Featured in some incredible production, such as Fatima, The Agony of a Homemade Faith, which was my first production and first movie that we did with my company. And after that, we did Nurses from Hell and Scarlet.
Right.
And I've been featured in the incredible movie that just came out, which is All Things, directed by John Uche, who's an incredible director.
I know.
I've been in, it's called Nothing Mirage, which is done by Ivy Cuba. She was the director.
Right.
I've been in All Things Unholy, which has not been out yet. Bride's War. It's so many.
I know, a whole bunch there. A whole bunch. But when you sit back, Winstina, and reflect on these movies you've done, which of them would you say has been the most challenging, and why precisely?
I would actually say one of the most challenging ones I've done is Scarlet, and the reason being it was focused on a mother who has a sick child, an autism child. She's going through some stuff with her sister and her husband. So it was more to me the challenging role because, like I said, I'm a passionate person on education as well as helping the less fortunate.
Right.
So having to take that role as an autistic, mother's child, it was really incredible, and I had to really search inside myself that every time I looked at the movie, I would cry. Although I know it's acting, but just the message and what the story was about really touched my heart.
Now, Winstina, I understand that last Saturday you were ushered on the podium and introduced as one of the actresses in AK, a Cameroonian movie directed by Akim Makole, who is just saying good morning to you. He says he's listening to you. And this movie is produced by Kang Quintus. But could you just tell us how you got to this production and which character did you play?
Okay, I actually played the lawyer, who's in Betty. But the way, first of all, let me speak about Mr. Macaulay, who is an incredible director. He's actually my first director in my movie, Fatima. So he's actually my mentor, meaning the one that teaches me what to do, that made me who I am today. No matter where I go, that's who I would give the credit to, because without his education or his teaching, and he's the type of director that will tell you how it is. If you can't act, he will tell you he don't care how you feel.
Right.
You can cry about it, go ahead, but he will tell you exactly how it is, but he will push you to the point where it will bring the best out of you.
Right.
That's number one. So basically, me and Quan was talking. Usually, we call him Quinto. So we were talking, and he was telling me about the production. He sent me the script, which was an incredible script, and I'm so happy the way it turned out because it literally came out the way it was envisioned in the script. So So we came in, he called me, they started production, he called me, he said, okay, I want you to play the lawyer. I was like, sure, why not?
Right.
So I went in, did my thing, and I really did not watch the whole movie until that day with everybody. I just did my part. So by me seeing everything came to light, it was an incredible story. I mean, it was an epic to me. It was brilliant.
Right. I will definitely talk with Akim Macaulay in this edition of African Cocktail, and when I get to him, he will be confirming if Winstina Taylor is that actress he can bet for. But I would like to get that from you as well, Winstina. What makes you a good actress?
To tell you, to me, what I feel makes me a good actress is because I'm passionate about what I do. If you give me a story and I read it ahead of time, I do my heart most to take myself away and put myself into that character. Like to become that character, because it's not about me, it's not about Winstina, it's about whoever that character I'm supposed to play. So I would do whatever to become that character. So hopefully when it comes out on screen, it shows that it's not Winstina, it's the character.
Right. Winstina, I've talked with scores of movie actors, and each time they tell me that they are flexible, they can play whatever role they are given. Is that the case with you?
I am very flexible to a limit. The reason why I say to a limit, because there's certain character or certain things I believe as a woman, the mother and a wife, that I will not take.
Right.
But any role that is projecting something positive, or any role that I know I can handle, at the end of the story, if it's a positive picture, it's giving a message, I will take whatever role. But if it's a negative aspect, especially demeanoring females,
you wouldn't go there.
Females down, I will not take that role.
So what do you consider before you accept a movie script?
Usually because I believe that technically a lot of people already know what I will accept and what I don't. So they really will not bring a script that they know I will not take. But when I look at a script, what my main concern that I look at to see if I'm going to accept the role or not is, number one, is that character in the storyline. Doesn't mean the character has to be a lead. Even if I'm a sub-lead, even if it's a let's say a 2-scene, 3-scene, but is the character important in that story that they're trying to tell? Does that character create the story? If that's the case, I will take the role.
Right. Now, Winstina, you also double as a film producer. Why did you decide to take... You getting me?
Yes.
I was saying that you also double as a film producer, and we understand that film production is not chocolate. Why did you decide to get into this other aspect of production?
I would say one of the main reasons why I decided to be a producer of movies, sometimes you want your vision to be heard. You want people to see what you can bring in the table as a female, as well as to help the females out here that are trying to do something with themselves. So that's one of my main reasons, to become a producer as well as an executive producer and to have my own company.
So how many films have you produced so far?
I would say about 10. I think we have produced 10, but 3 has officially been released. The other ones are still on the work.
Yeah. And one of those movies that are still undergoing post-production is Silent Retreat. What is it all about? And what inspired you to do the story?
Silent Retreat is basically kind of a faith-based movie as well as a love story between friends, old friends, and new friends. So basically it's to see, sometimes you see somebody, you don't know if this is the person for me. You take your friends for granted. But at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, that friend is the one that's there for you. And you find out that's your true love.
Right. And at what stage are you with the production of Silent Retreat?
We're almost completed. We're just on the editing stage now, which is almost complete, and we're doing the sound, color correction and sound and all of that. On that department, that's not my department. I'm on the other side.
Right. And I also understand, Winstina, that you got Melissa determined as one of the lead actresses in this production. Melissa is one of those Caribbean actresses who has done quite much with Africa. Why did you choose to get Melissa in this production? And tell us how you went about this arrangement.
Okay, basically me and Melissa had worked on Bright for X4, which is a production we did prior to doing Silent Retreat. And so basically when we were going out of stage, we kind of like, okay, let's see who we want in this production. And me and my co-producer, which is Soleil Diva, Marie Soleil Diva, yes, she called her up and she was willing and she came on board.
And were you satisfied with her performance?
Oh, definitely. She always gave her best in anything she did, definitely.
Any premiere arrangements for this movie?
I didn't hear you.
Yes, I'm asking if you have any premiere arrangements for Silent Retreat.
I'm not too sure. We are working on it, hopefully within the next... There's so many movies I got to premiere. I'm trying to figure out which one should be first.
Right.
So we're not too sure yet. If we're in the, second phase of production, as things go by, we'll know what to do.
Right. Okay, Winstina Taylor, thank you so much. You are still with me in this edition of African Cocktail. We will definitely be back with you. So just stay with us. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, Winstina Taylor, the main guest in this edition of African Cocktail. She is from Sierra Leone. She's doing quite well in the movies and also doing quite well as far as humanitarian activities are concerned. She's an illustrious daughter of Sierra Leone and she's been helping her community, and she has development at the back of her mind. These are the kind of people we encourage. And these are the kind of people we love to have on a show that encourages and promotes African values. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio. Let's have some music. Then we'll probably be moving to Texas, where we have our next guest.
Pour tous les jours yo sokolaka na banana poso na yo chacho kesinga yaside ya moni mondo kinderita na kufanatika ye ya sala vie na ye ya bominga bolingo esalaka pasi pasi malila pandu Francis Kankone Chakamulasa Arsene Kamango Elene Kalema Mami il est la chérie Diawa Audio Transbar, Audio Transbar Sommet des sommets
Tambola na chemise en plein hiver Bena kotoko nyoso Mbaja temero yona Lobela kio Ele ki conjugue Sa verbe donner na via mobola nebeli
On cliché au renverso
Yango esali retourna motema
Opéra sommet
Sous la tisinga mato yange Bolingo esala kapasi
Just like our main guest in this edition of African Cocktail, Winstina Taylor, there are other Africans who think development. And when we talk about development, we also talk in education. One of those young Africans who is thinking about the education of the girl child is Besem Oben. Besem Oben is the Houston, Texas chapter president of the Seka Baptist College alumni, ex-students of the Seka Baptist College, Limbe, Cameroon. They call them the Sekorex. Besem Oben is the next guest in this edition of African Cocktails. She will be talking to us from Texas. Don't go away. But before we get to Houston, Texas, we hear our man in Belgium is on the line to give us updates of what has been happening in that part of Europe and, of course, that part of the world. His name is Titus Bagno. And at exactly 27 minutes to 1, time for us to move to the city of Antwerp, where Titus Bagno is now on the line. Titus, welcome back to African Cocktail.
Yes, Ernest. Good afternoon from the Kingdom of Belgium, to be precise, the Diamond City, Antwerp, where I am reporting. Yes, following the disgraceful performance of the indomitable Lions at the ongoing World Cup in Brazil, the pill was a bitter one to swallow. The situation even worsened when the remaining African teams also bowed out, dismissing former claims that African teams were going to perform well at this year's World Cup competition. After this disappointment, Ernest, most Africans now shifted their support to the teams of their respective countries of residence. The situation obtained in Belgium yesterday tells it all. Most Africans out here were part of the celebrations when the Red Devils beat the United States of America to qualify for the quarterfinals. The euphoria reached high gear, and most Africans could be seen brandishing the Belgian flag in a bid to show the joy of victory, a thing they did not get from their teams. And speaking to some friends after the win for Belgium, some Africans have it that should Belgium continue in the same way, then Coach Wilmoff and Vincent Kompany will definitely kiss and carry home the coveted trophy. All the same, it is a matter of wait and see. But then, Ernest, it is summertime, and as someone once said, summertimes are nice, and when they come with activities. The Okoyong Park Students Association, known as OPSA, will on Saturday, July 19 in Antwerp be presenting a special night they call a special night with the Queens. Activities of the night shall include fundraising that will bring together OPSAs and all over the world. It shall also be a night to showcase African music with the expertise of DJ Ras Petoj and DJ Marcel Telo, who is a DJ and has tried his hand in music, will be the guest artist. Then this one, the Balimunga Cultural and Development Association, known as Bankuda Europe branch, will from July 11 to 13 be holding their 2014 convention in Antwerp. The event shall bring together sons and daughters of Balimunga from all corners of Europe and probably the world. During the convention, much about culture shall be presented and issues about development of Balimunga shall be discussed. It shall wrap up with a fundraising gala, and Ernest, Balimunga is a fondom situated in the northwest region of Cameroon, and their language is Mongaka. Ernest, except you have some questions for me. If not, we will definitely take the rendezvous for next week, same time, same program.
Same time, same station, same show. Titus Bagno, thank you so much. He is our main correspondent in Belgium, and of course he resides in the metropolitan city of Antwerp. Titus should definitely be a happy man following the qualification to the 8th finals of the Belgian national side at the ongoing World Cup in Brazil. Titus, thank you so much. Next stop is Houston, Texas. But then, let's listen to this music.
Nazana kaka na sanzete esikotika kingai Sampengo ngai Grand Lac Restaurant Schengen chez Valendoi Kodeko Bongolanga Bongo sana ila moto na ngove sandoko soni nasangi mayele yako sepelisa yote nalamukia batu mwetana na kotisa mbara nabukisa nkilo gafle na maloko mangamoko nabaki pungu misato bona yebi olingaka banyama lwemba swapecha kuyo na lakisi maloba ya bolingo alobelaka yo na sanse nanga ata kombole très fort les boss soki exlava moni epekisaka te tina mitie maumbwa champi bolava watarika eno ya paembesa karese ya loboko mbenga otinalinga malobelo bina ndako ya kotalanga mbatanelaka
Nanga mokonzi tapi rouge ya lokulu natandeli yo simisipe pantalo nanga lwemba utana bala bala tina ndako nangai utamolela edoe
Maître Israël Matoné yoga lekini nazopeswa
yoza vraiment na linia ya babibo shayo viva jipe mindia
Jilibolia
atobombie elongi lokolo no baba
Africa Radio, bringing Africa closer to you.
Nazatone yoga lekini nazopeswa
yoza vraiment na linia ya babibo shayo viva jipe mindia
Jilibolia
atobombie elongi lokolo no baba na vale
ya parte ya virunga
mbongola binangana sekonde moko na maboko gigi makumbi.
And like I said earlier on, we have young Africans who have the education of their brothers and sisters back home in mind. One of them is Besem Oben, who is the Houston chapter president of the Seka Baptist College ex-students. I'm talking about the Sekerites. Besem Oben is our next guest in this edition of African Cocktail, and she will be throwing more light on the fundraising the association had last Friday in Texas. She will be the main guest in this edition of African Cocktail, so don't go away, especially to my friends listening to me in Limbe, Cameroon.
Caprisa Fifi, te pura ibenda kaki, ilamba nangai, ya pete sala pasonayo, tango koya, eko sala le flitra, festin.
Chéri, ne tombera jamais.
Caprisa nayo, te pura ibenda kangai, ilamba nangai, ya pete sala pasonayo, tango koya.
Okay, beautiful piece there by Ferre Gola of the Wenge Musica Group. It's a special dedication to all the students of the Seka Baptist College in Limbe, one of Cameroon's most prestigious denominational schools. And of course, at exactly 1:45, time for us to move to Texas, where the chapter president of Houston is right here with me. Besem Oben, you're welcome to African Cocktail.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
How are you, Besem?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Right. And so you are the president of the Houston chapter of Sekerites, the association that brings together former students of the prestigious Seka Baptist College in Limbe, Cameroon. You had a fundraising event last Friday. How did it go?
Thank you, Ernest. That is right. I am the president of the Houston chapter. I've been the president for the past 3.5 years.
Right.
And we did have our annual fundraiser this past Friday, July 27th, here in Houston, Texas. And we're blessed to say that it went very well.
I won't bother to ask you about the amount of money you raise unless you want to tell me, Besem, but would you say you were quite satisfied with what the guests at the event contributed?
Yes, Ernest, I don't mind at all you asking because, like I said, it's an annual event, and the EXA USA, of which we're a member, is a 501c3 organization, and so we raise money every year going towards specific projects. The Houston chapter has a project which is a scholarship project where we sponsor students through Seka Baptist College, and this year was one like no other. We were able to raise close to $17,000 US. So we're really pleased with how the guests came out and showed us their support and donated. So after our expenses are paid, all the money will be channeled towards the scholarship project in Sacred Baptist College.
Right. Okay. I've also been made to understand that this is kind of an annual event. What motivated it, and when did you start this fundraising program precisely?
Well, the fundraiser started back in 2004, which is about when the scholarship project came up. And the U.S. Branch of the ex-Sacreds, we have different projects that we sponsor in our alma mater, Sacred Baptist College. So we have a dining hall project, and scholarship project, a sick bay project. So the different chapters sponsor different projects. Our project is the scholarship project, so we've been raising funds for it annually since about 2004, which is roughly about 10 years.
Right. Now, there are branches of Sacreds spread all over the USA. I should guess you run the Houston chapter. Could you just brief us about this chapter and how influential or prominent is it here in the United States?
That's correct, Ernest. We have 10 chapters across the continental United States. The Houston chapter is one of the first few chapters. The Houston and the Dallas chapter are one of the founders of the organization. Right. And since 2002, we have grown to 10 chapters across the U.S. The Houston chapter has about 30 registered members at this time, and it's a vibrant and very active and involved chapter of the organization.
Right. And I know there were people who planned to come to the Friday fundraising, but they couldn't make it. Do you have any appeal to them? Have you closed your coffers yet?
Oh, no, our coffers are never closed. There were a lot of people who, from within Houston and even from out of Houston, who supported us in this endeavor. So our coffers are still open because the project we don't launch the project until the school year resumes, which is in September. Right. So we are still actively raising funds for this project, and we're still accepting all kinds of donations towards this project.
Right. And if interested persons want to contact your chapter of Sacreds, how can they go about it?
They can contact us using our email address, which is exahouston, EXSSA, Houston, @yahoo.com. We can be contacted as well nationally through our website at
EXSA-USA.org. Besem, I must say that virtually every Cameroonian family from the English-speaking divide of the country has had a family member or a child in Seka. You went to this very prestigious school. How do you feel about it? And could you tell us what batch you were?
Of course, Ernest. I am proud and blessed to have been part of the graduating class of 1995. And we, of course, I'm biased because we as Sacreds feel like Sacred Baptist College is one of the best all-girls schools in the whole of Cameroon. And the great thing about the foundation that we received at Sacred is that it instilled in us that Christian foundation that has carried on with us even into womanhood and into adulthood. And the education that we received at Sacred Baptist College really planted that seed and laid the basic foundation of who we are today as women in all walks of life.
Right. Besem Oben, well, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us about the fundraising and, of course, the chapter which you run.
Thank you so much, Ernest. It's my pleasure to have been part of the program. Thank you so much.
Okay, hopefully we'll have her some other time on this show. Like I said, she is the chapter president of Houston Sacreds. Sacred Baptist College is one of the most prestigious denominational secondary schools in Cameroon, Central Africa. Okay, African Cocktail is coming to you from Africa Radio. Let's see what we have next. Okay, let's have some music then. We'll be right back.
Ya Gisèle Photo
Shaki Watunda na José Kongolo
still have one of Cameroon's up and coming artists who is based in Germany. His name is Mark Fombang. He will be talking to us in this edition of African Cocktail. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. Lots and lots of interesting things still coming up in this resumption edition of African Cocktail. Next is Akim Makole. Akim Makole is the diaspora representative of the Cameroon film industry. Don't go away, he has something interesting for us.
Amiral Tamba
mokolo mosusu nakena sandu na yo kiposa na yo nalobi naleka na biro nafuti yo lisusu kaka na sekrete
Yaja Matondo, au-delà de la fortune.
mokolo mosusu tolali na butu na yo kifoneleli.
And so the men and women who man, let me use the word man, who man film issues in the United States of America as far as Cameroon is concerned, have been meeting and trying to sort out ways of how they can improve on their art and of course better administer this art as far as the Cameroon film industry is concerned. We shall be talking to Akim Makole, who is the diaspora representative of CFI USA. Of course, Akim facilitated the meeting which was held last Sunday. He now comes on board to tell us what happened at this meeting, what was discussed, and where they look forward to going after Sunday's meeting. Akim Makole is a film director par excellence. He is also one of the most respected Cameroonians as far as promotion of that country's culture is concerned. Akim doubles as the president of the Cameroon Academy Awards, whose first edition held last November in Cameroon. Akim Makole, welcome to African Cocktail.
Well, thank you, Ernest. Thank you very much. African Cocktail, good morning, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Akim, and we are glad to have you on the air this day. So, Akim, I understand CFI USA had its fourth, if not fifth, come together this past Sunday in Maryland, and we're told that the theme of the meeting was defining our goals. So, were these goals defined?
Yeah, actually, the theme was getting to know new members, also, you know, having a general assembly that people will be able to voice out their opinion as concerned the past 5 meetings that we had. And also to define our goals, because we realize that we've been having a lot of meetings, and we have not gotten enough members to really, you know, boost our CFI in the diaspora. So we wanted to know why actually we're not having a lot of people registering. So I mean, we got some suggestion, and we also have to go to the drawing board to redefine what is CFI, because the best of my knowledge, I realized that the people in the diaspora really have a limited understanding what CFI is all about, and that was one of the major problems to this confusion. No registration rate.
And so you must have come out with some decisions. What are some of these decisions, and when do you intend to start implementing them?
Well, the first decision I looked upon was that the executive and all the members need to have the constitution of the CFI back home. They have to go back to the drawing board to align their thought to the thought of the Aboriginal of CFI and what CFI entails. And, you know, read through the constitution so we can now develop our own bylaws based on the constitution of the original of our mother CFI back home. If not, we'll be creating another association which is not in line with the original association of CFI. And we also realize that we have a two-system problem. We actually have a problem of who is the president of CFI and who is this. So we actually come to a resolution that we will allow the president of the we should allow the president of the Filmmakers Guild USA
to coordinate the activities of the president of the Actors Guild USA to coordinate the activities of the actors and then report to CFI, or we have just one meeting for CFI, and also the president of the Filmmakers Guild to coordinate activities with the filmmakers. Then we'll unanimously have a meeting, which will be a CFI meeting, and we can now manage it easily, because sometimes people are confused, who is the president of CFI, who is the president, what are the job description, and we came to realize that the job description were not actually punctuated. So we have to really define the job description so that they can lead accordingly.
Now, let me come back to this problem of registration, Akim. When I spoke with Takuzi Emmanuel some time ago on the show, he said they had just like 20 members at the time we were speaking. Has the situation changed? Do you have more registered members as we speak?
If I have to be honest to you, it has not changed because of the problems that we were facing. Like I said, many members did not know what CFI is all about. So actually, you live in America, believe me, you're not going to sign a contract without actually knowing what the contract entails. So we have asked members to go now and read the constitution of CFI and know what CFI has for them and what they're expecting from CFI and what CFI is also expecting from them, then they'll be able to sign. I think when I spoke with a lot of members, they say they don't actually understand what CFI is all about. That's the reason it's difficult for them to at least, register as member. For the previous meeting, we kind of clarified certain things to them, and we promised that the executive or a special team will put together the current executive, the current caretaker committee will go to the constitution and look at the things that are necessary the things that are in the CFI main constitution, and create some things that will be beneficial to the members in the diaspora. When they do that, they will put a constitution together that will be presented to the General Assembly, and of course, people will see a reason why they should register to be member of CFI or not.
Okay, that's beautiful. Akim, at least in terms of movie production, one can say that 2014 has really been quite positive for CFI USA so far. But we would love to know if producers have really been working together to share ideas and skills. What is the situation out there now?
Right now, I think the producers, directors, and filmmakers, actors, and diaspora are still they are not really united already. But with some of the things that we discussed yesterday and on last Sunday on CFI meeting, is to bring teachers to come in and educate our people more about the structure of filmmaking and how people can work in unity. Because, you see, diaspora is where everybody can make money, and of course, when people do make their money, they want to invest in movies. They don't care. They're excited to do movies, but they don't look at the fundamentals. They don't even do their research to know exactly how to work and who to work with and who not to work with. How does it function? How do you create a movie to become a CFI movie? Or do you just go out there, shoot a movie with Nigeria, and all of a sudden you are a CFI? So we're trying to, lay a foundation that Cameroonians, can come together as producers, co-produce, use their own producers to produce movies, use their own talent, to act movies or to direct movies or to do in a use their own talent in the crew level and the technical level and also the talent level. So we're doing everything to try to put Cameroonians under one canopy, CFI.
Right.
We are really, really divided. I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe it's because of the diaspora and because people can just, make money and want to shoot movie. But still, the fundamental is we should have a system of education to help educate our personnel, to help educate our investors, to also define what is the difference between an executive producer, a producer, a director, an actor, a DOP. I mean, it's just a lot, because those are the things that make our industry divided. If you don't know who you are, and somebody will like, no. You know, people taking different credit, you know. For example, I can produce a movie, and I don't know the difference between producing a movie and a production house. I don't know the difference between producing a movie, a production house, and an executive producer. So all those things really help to bring tension in the industry, because people don't know where they belong. So one of the goals that we are trying to implement in CFI is to bring technicians, to bring filmmakers, stakeholders, to come and educate our dear people that are interested to join the industry, to know exactly what they are getting into, so that they don't get into it and start having difficulty understanding. You know, it's also good for them, because they will know exactly what they're getting into. Of course, we will have a lot of people to come in, you know, produce movie, executive produce movie, you know, so far as they know exactly what they are doing and how they are doing and how that credit will be given to them.
Right. Now, Akim Macaulay, I'm not trying to add salt into a wound which I think is not quite big, because you guys are doing really, really great. But some observers say that they see more Cameroonian film family members at movie premieres than at CFI meetings, where salient issues are expected to be discussed. And they also say this is a big problem. So, has this been the observation of the organization as well? And if that is the case, what are you doing about this?
I think it's a problem of thought processing, because some of us, when we came into the industry, we copied from our ancestors, we copied from those that have done it before, and we try to take some of those things and, you know, build our own industry with that. Looking at premieres, like you say, it is difficult to see it's difficult to see filmmakers in premiere rather than family members, as you say. And I have come to the understanding that we are not united. The reason is because, for example, Akim Macaulay is directing a movie. If A or B is not in that movie, then A or B is not going to come to the premiere. If A is producing a movie, says Matthew Atugo is producing a movie, if Akim Macaulay is not directing the movie, perhaps he will not come to the premiere. And some will say, okay, I will not advertise your movie because when you were doing your movie, you didn't include me in it. So I have a simple question. We cannot use everybody in a given movie, because each and every movie has the character definition and a character limitation. So we cannot accommodate everybody. I have talked repeatedly and begged my people, let's support premieres. Let's support premieres. Then I have my own personal opinion, which maybe is not well accepted, but I look at it that when you talk about movie premiere, it is where celebrities hang out. You get the point? It's where celebrity, and if you go to movie premiere, you don't see celebrities, then it's not actually a movie premiere again. Because a movie premiere is where you have to meet different celebrities, different producers, different stakeholders, and you share opinion, you exchange ideas. I personally, it's my opinion. People may not buy it. I think when you have a premiere, it is a courtesy to invite filmmakers, whether they are paying the ticket or not, or you invite them, because it is those filmmakers that give the premiere the atmosphere of a premiere. Now, if they can support you, it should be just like in Hollywood. There are people that go, like when we have like BET Award, it's not everybody that goes to BET that, buy a BET ticket. You get the point? I mean, there are some artists, like A-list artists, that you know that when they come to that premiere, they make the atmosphere look different. It's just like in movie, for example, we did a Sona Award in Cameroon. I'm not going to say I will expect I will give it to come and buy ticket to enter in my premiere. I mean, in the award. Are you getting the point?
I'm getting the point, Akim.
If I restrict I will give it, say no, he needs to pay to get to my award. So it means that if he feels as not paying, it's not going to come. Who's going to lose? Am I going to lose or he going to? I'm the one that's supposed to lose because Abu Ghibet is a name. It's a household name in Cameroon. Just like any other big actors, big production company, I'm not going to tell them to come and pay because they were not nominated or not.
Right.
So it is an industry. We are working for the industry. Those that are coming to pay are those that are supporting the industry, those that are paying to see what we agree in the industry. But as a courtesy and respect to a member, to a producer, to a director, to somebody in the industry, invite them, give them invitation, because we're supposed to do what we call private screening. When you have a movie, you invite filmmakers to come and do private screening. Hey, people, come, let's do private screening. I have a private screening of my movie. People come and see and tell us what you think about. Don't do that in our society. So if you're organizing a premiere, bring filmmakers. Don't think about paying or whether you pay the hall for $2,000 or $20,000. All you got to do is say, invite filmmakers. Sell your ticket to other people, but invite filmmakers because it's a film-making event.
Okay, the message has definitely gone through. Akim, thank you so much. But before you go away, Akim, we are receiving Winstina Taylor, who says she is one of your students. Let me put it that way, because she says that you actually met him. Could you just say one thing about Winstina before you leave us?
Winstina is a very powerful woman. She's a fighter. She even beat me on set one time. Did she tell you that? Did she tell you that?
Yes.
It's one of the person that has made us in the USA so proud, and she's a very brilliant actress. She's coming up, and I think Hollywood will be her next destination.
Hollywood will be her next destination. Akim Makole, thank you so much. We hope to have you again when it's necessary. Thank you so much, Akim.
Thank you, and God bless you. Ernest, Kanjo, keep doing what you know how to do best.
Okay, his name is Akim Makole, and he's been talking some film administration there, which is really important. It's also very necessary for the industry to move along with some discipline. It's not just about good acting, good directing, good editing, and what have you. We need discipline, and of course, discipline. This is African Cocktail. Our last guest at large will be Mark Fombang in Germany. Then, after Mark, we'll come back and run off the show with our main guest, Winstina Taylor. But for now, listen to this.
Music. That's all.
Hey, hey.
Oh no, Jama, what the people from
Hey, what the Jama won't say ni aba krom hampu. A-Life African Market a beer store kesi o Columbus.
A-Life Supermarket a wo kuma se dum no ba bie ne nkrabata o krom hai.
Maybe there be o name A-Life African Market your store for cry your ton fresh food stuff. Opedien, banche, bayre, fufu, and nam papa bi aya the bon kwan de. And no one A-Life. One year man so that from fo.
No. Na ni anan kwa na A-Life African Market at town.
Odo, China mi mo mu ye. A-Life your one-stop shopper. Oton enko papa eye hunam ye. Money transfer. And a unity the free Ghana nyina.
And you not tajun what then enyagro. A-Life African Market a one more would ne Cleveland Avenue chase way.
Na se wodi hompo. Ane ehwa ne wo.
CVS a chiwanum and Dr. Yesu Hospital danda de nimuha.
Ehwa.
And you know busia for pay A-Life for chira kwaya and one is over 4384 Cleveland Avenue Columbus Ohio higher and afrewo 614-414-0330 and now say 614-270-7976.
A-Life African Market. Yeni mufitete.
Okay, we've moved from the Democratic Republic of Congo to West Africa and precisely to Guinea-Conakry, where we are meeting Fode Koyate in that beautiful one titled Yamu Ya Kui Kalonde. Okay, this is pure indigenous music from West Africa. And of course, you're listening to African Cocktail with Ernest Kanjo. This is Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2014. This resumption episode of the show. And of course, our next guest, like I said, is Mac Fomang. Mac Fomang is an up-and-coming Cameroonian artist who is based in Germany. He released a single a couple of days ago. Okay, he will tell us more about that. And of course, his career just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. Don't go away. And without much ado, let's move on to Germany, where Mac Fombang is already on the line. But then, okay, just give me a couple of seconds. I'll be with him.
Mrina pangali mama horia gaza kubikina na walifanyi gati mara wakulo mara kidi mara iburi fanyi na rahatina para na fifi nyari to yuma fabala ibera la kuini fiera na fema diria bubore na mafanyi manyo maitambe
Hey, beautiful music there coming to you from West Africa, precisely from Guinea-Conakry. I want to say good afternoon to all my listeners out there in Conakry. Conakry is the political capital of that beautiful West African country. Just like I want to say good evening to all my friends listening to me in Dortmund, North Rhine region of Germany, and we are going to move slightly away from Dortmund and get into this outskirts of that German city. And this one they call it Hagen. Hagen is where we're going to meet our next guest. His name is Magdad. Magdad is a Cameroonian singer who has been rising and rising. And at exactly 16 minutes past 1, let's welcome Magdad on African Cocktail. Welcome.
Hello, Ernest. Kanjo, it's Magdad. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks, Magdad. So, how is it out there in Hagen?
Oh, it's quite nice weather outside. Somewhere sunny. Yeah, first surprise with German weather. We're enjoying it out here. So.
Right. My time is 1:16 p.m. here. What time do you have over there?
We've got 17 after 7 o'clock in the evening.
I know it's summertime and nightfall comes only at 10 p.m. Is that the case with you guys over there?
Yes, and it's really, as I said, it's been a surprise because the past weeks it's really been raining somehow. Right. You know, we still get into the summer. I just can't wait, and I'm really very curious.
I know. Okay, Magdad, you are one of Cameroon's up-and-coming singers based out in the diaspora. For how long have you been in music, and what got you into the art?
Well, first of all, as most of you out there and around Germany know already, I'm Magdad, and well, you see, music is something special that I mean, it's just all in one package. That's what we call in German. We say in German, all inclusive, and it's just the best thing about life when you are out there and you're doing your thing, being inspired.
Right.
And when it gets to music. I'll say I've been into music from childhood, you know, since I was a little kid. You know, when you get your, I don't know if you can recall some of these child memories when you like little kid out there singing out there in the choir.
Definitely.
And the most interesting part about it was my mom has always been a choir mistress. So I've really been into music since I was very little, you know.
Right.
And riding there, practicing, and always have to perform in front of the church. That's how I really got into music. And very interesting enough, my namesake was a singer as well. It was a musician, and I don't know if that's how he got me.
So, what kind of music do you do? What is your genre?
I do hip hop and R&B. All the past years, I've been writing for some local artists,
right?
Doing productions and singing in some groups. But what really caught me about 2 years ago was, first of all, to come out with my own single,
right?
My own album, and I'm trying to bridge a gap between the hip hop scene and the Afrobeat.
Right.
So I always think it's very important.
Right.
Especially artists who are living out of the country, we're out there to always recognize where we come from.
Okay.
We have an identity, I'll put it that way.
So do you have any full album or just singles?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, to all my fans who are very curious out there, we're waiting. I know, some of you have had some hints already that started with the track Love Champions the World, which had been roaming around. That was a football track. And the real album will officially be launched by the end of this week. That will be on Friday. So the whole album will consist of 12 tracks, and it's going to be out there in the public and in all the stores. I mean, very interesting enough, I've tried, and I want to thank the whole team for the amazing job they've done. Make sure that it's out there on all the online shops so it can be ready for downloads. Yeah.
Now, recently you released a victory song for the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon ahead of the ongoing World Cup tournament. Unfortunately, your dreams did not come true because of what you and I know. Did you feel really discouraged and disappointed?
Well, I wouldn't say discouraged and disappointed. First of all, it's always something great to be part of this football party, and I mean, for Cameroon to represent us. I mean, we are all over the world to be a football nation. You see, it's like when roaming down the streets in Germany, you get people who always like when they get to know that you are from Cameroon. Oh my God, they are just really, they identify you straight away with football and Roger Milla and all of that. Yeah, well, I wouldn't really want to say disappointed with the performance of the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Well, it's not really the best what we have been expecting. My best advice, what I've got to say out there, and Ernest, what I'm going to tell you is, I'm somebody, when you're going to listen to the whole of my tracks, I'm somebody, I like to be direct. I like to speak the truth. I target very special points in the society where people don't want to talk about. The thing with the national team is, you see, let's trace the problem from the roots. There is a problem out there. We need to solve this problem before targeting the players. You see, it's quite okay. It's quite clear the fact that the performance was really poor. But there is a problem, and what I want to say here is, you see, we need to change our mentality on football. I want to thank all the players who, in a way, would try to do their best to be part to support their country in one or two ways, and all the fans. But you see, my personal opinion is that let the young grow. What I'm trying to say there is, I think they're very young, talented players also back home who can also get the job done. I think let everybody be given the opportunity in life. That's what we have to try to target. And
okay.
That's how I see it.
A strong message
there.
Quite a strong message there from Mark. Dad, let the young grow. Give them the chance. So, Mark, do you have an album or single in the pipeline? If so, how soon should we expect it?
Yes, the album is dropping out very soon. It's coming out in the next few days, and as I said earlier on, it'll be out there in the online stores. It'll be out there for people to download, listen to, and there are videos which are already my crew, my guys are working very hard. I want to thank them to get these videos out ready for everybody to watch.
Right.
And the album is right at the door corner.
So who are some of the artists you work with regularly?
I've worked with some local artists like Kenneth the Castle and Philip, who is based in Cologne, and I think those are all for now. And it's very interesting enough. There is a very long line of German artists who are trying to do everything so we collaborate and come out with some singles who we're looking forward to maybe by the year and see what we're going to make out of it.
Mark that if there is someone who has been listening to us and would love to work with you, how can they get in touch?
You can go on Facebook. I've got a Facebook site and it's called Magdad. And you can also meet me on my private page, still on Facebook, on the Mac Phone Bank. You can write me and you are always welcome. I'm going to reply back to you. We can get in touch through that means.
Okay, his name is Magdad, up-and-coming Cameroonian artist. He's so brilliant, even from the way he talks. Mark, thank you so much. We hope to have you again on the show some other time.
Thank you very much, Ernest. Thanks for having me.
Okay, this is African Cocktail, the 55th edition, coming to you from Africa Radio. We are gradually but steadily moving towards the end of the show. Okay, we shall soon go back to Maryland, and it will be the last segment of our conversation with Winstina Taylor. Winstina Taylor is a Sierra Leonean movie star who has done so much, and I must say that she is an award-winning actress. She's just been nominated for the Best Actress Award category at the Nollywood and African Film Critics Awards. That is the NAFCA, which will take place come September. We still will throw more light on that when we get back to Maryland. But for now, listen to this.
Adult music. That's all.
Hey, Hey, what the Jama won't say ni abakrom hampu. A-Life African Market be store kesi o Columbus.
A-Life Supermarket e wo kumase dum no ba bi ne nkrabata okrom hai.
Maybe a debut name A-Life African Market ye store for cry ye ton fresh food stuff. Open bien, banche, bayre, fufu, and nam papa bi aya di bon kwan de. And no one A-Life. One ye man so da form for.
No. Nani anan kwa na A-Life African Market at home.
Other China mi mo muye. A-Life ye one stop shopper. Oton enko papa e ye hunam ye. Money transfer. And a unity de frega na nyina.
And you not tajin what then and yagro A-Life African Market and one more would ne Cleveland Avenue chase way.
Nasa wudi mhompo. Ane ehwane wo.
CVS at you and can Dr. Yosu Hospital danda de nimuha. And you never see for pay A-Life for Chirakwaya and one is over 4384 Cleveland Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, Haya, and Afrewon 614-414-0330 and now say 614-270-7976.
A-Life African Market.
Africa Radio, bringing Africa closer to you.
Okay, we are back in Guinea-Conakry, musically speaking, and her name is Tirenke Sidime. Tirenke Sidime in that beautiful one titled Fanta Konde. Indigenous music from West Africa. And we're in West Africa today, precisely in Sierra Leone, where we are meeting one of that country's illustrious daughters. Her name is Winstina Taylor. Winstina Taylor is a movie star, and of course, she is a philanthropist. One young African lady who wants to see the continent grow. That's the best way to describe the person we are receiving on this show today. Winstina, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, Winstina, when I look at your stories, none of them seem to have something to do with the history of Sierra Leone. Yet we know that your country has quite much as far as this area is concerned. Are you planning to tell some of these stories we know about Sierra Leone in your movies eventually?
Oh, of course. That's such a brilliant question because, to tell you the truth, about a week ago, my friend and I was talking about it, stating like things we want to do. So we're coming up with so many things to just talk about Sierra Leone. Just Sierra Leone alone, I don't think I'll be able to finish.
Right. So, as an illustrious daughter of this great West African country, what do you hope to do as contribution to the development of the Sierra Leonean film industry?
Basically, just to continue to push our nation and try to incorporate upcoming Sierra Leonean that wants to act, that want to produce, that want to, whatever they want to do, I am here willing and ready to be able to assist as much as I know possible, which that is my plan, to just continuously help assist in a filmmaking point of view as well as an actress.
Right. And so do you hope to shoot some movies back home with home-based actors? I know there are young Sierra Leoneans who really love to get on set. Or do you nest plans of providing assistance to aspiring actors in your country? What do you really have in mind?
Yes, I truly do. I just finished a project called High Fashion with one of my lovely sisters. Her name is Princess Cisse. She's from Sierra Leone. Both of us co-produced the project.
Right.
And it's on the editing phase, like I said. And also our plan is also to go to Sierra Leone to also do a movie come December, hopefully around December 8th. So I don't want to put a date on there, but we're definitely shooting something in Sierra Leone next year. Right.
I understand you run a film productions outfit known as Prime International Productions. How is it structured, and for how long have you been running this production house?
Basically, Prime International was created the minute I started doing filmmaking, which I know that's what I wanted to do and where my head is gearing towards. It's been more up and running more so this year because we've done a lot of things with Prime International this year than before. So basically where Prime International is going is whoever needs equipment, because we have all of our equipment. We have our editing equipment.
Right.
We have a DOP. We have an editing department. We have everything. So if you want to do a movie and you need assistance or you need help or you need collaboration, we're there. As Prime International, if it's an upcoming actress, upcoming producer, director, somebody that just wants to get education or to learn what to do, just call us up at Prime International and we're there.
It sounds so rosy when you speak, and someone would go with the impression that all is fine and there are no problems. But I also understand that in every venture there are challenges. What are some of these challenges you face, Winstina?
Oh, of course, in anything you do, it's always, even in, I'm a Bible faith person, even in the Bible, you need a storm. You need a story to tell for you to be strong in the Lord.
Right.
So basically, although we're speaking as the movie industry, the filmmaking industry is all rosy. It's not. It has it's up, it has its down, but it just depends on how you feel about it and where your head is geared towards to go. Having a production company is not easy. Number one, we're human. We have backbiters. We have people that don't want to see you succeed because they want to do it and they were not bold enough or did not have the intellect to put it, to come to pass. So you will have people that will try to take you backwards instead of trying to help you to move forward. Right. So all of that is incorporated in the movie industry, being an actress, being a producer, having your own production house.
Winstina, I would imagine that one of the things that keep you moving is recognition. When you get recognized for your hard work, you feel really inspired and you feel like, I just have to keep going. I'm talking about one of those things. You just got nominated for the NAFCA Award, which is the Nollywood African Film Critics Award. And I hear your nomination is coming from the movie Scarlet. Now, you definitely want to be voted for. Why do you think people should vote for you?
I believe people should vote for me, basically because I did my utmost best. I did not hold nothing back. I did everything, gave it my all as an actress as well as a mother. Because the story is a sympathetic story about a mother struggling with her autistic child while going through things in her family. So basically, if you watch the story, you will know yourself why you should vote for me.
Right.
But if it's left to me, it's because I'm a mother and I portray the mother figure of the story.
And if you finally emerge victorious in this category, Winstina, that will definitely not be the first time. I know you've had other awards. Could you just tell us a little bit about some of these?
Basically, I've had, since the movie industry, which God has blessed me enough, I've had some nominations. Some nomination coming up, came up. I got Actress of the Year for SLAM, which is an organization to bring artists in Sierra Leone together.
Right.
Which basically help promote artists and nominate them and recognize them for their work they're doing, and recognize, people that have been in the industry for a while, which I won Best Actress. I got nominated. I had a lot of nominations, but that was my first actual win as an individual. But my company has won some nomination, especially for Scarlet Director of the Year, which was John Uche, who's a brilliant director, and he also brings the best out of you in anything you do. So basically, having those nominations really mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate the one from Sierra Leone because it's my home base. Like, that's one of the best recognitions thus far, I believe, I've received, and probably will be one of the ones to be kept in my heart because the people from my country recognize the work I'm doing, which means a lot to me.
Winstina, we have less than 5 minutes to run off this conversation, but you can't go without talking about some of the people you've been working with. I'm going to cite a few names here, Winstina, and you are briefly going to tell me something about these people. I'll begin with this other movie star from your country, Sierra Leone. I had her as main guest on this show some time ago. Her name is Wendy Bangura.
Okay. Wendy Bangura, we have not had the opportunity to work together, but I've seen some of her work, and she is my sister for my country, and I believe the way she's progressing, she's going to go a long way in this industry.
Now, this gentleman is a Nigerian, but he has directed many Cameroonian movies here in the United States of America. And the people I've talked with tell me he is a great, great, great man. His name is Obed Joe.
Oh, yes, definitely. He is like a mentor. I have so many mentors in this industry. I'm just blessed to always meet people that would like to educate me and that will continue to educate me. Obed Joe has been an educator in the past year since I met him. That's who directed and did the same Bright World Expo, which I was part of. I was blessed to be a part of, where I worked on a comedy, like a TV series, American Mama and Family, which is a fantastic story. And currently, I'm working on a movie with him called Love for Medicine, which is just an incredible and a fantastic story.
Now, talk with every African here in the United States who has worked with him, and they'll tell you that John Dumelo is a gentleman. He is quite talented, but yet he is really, really humble. Is that your opinion about this Ghanaian actor?
Yes, and they missed out one part. He's very funny. Everything, plus he's very funny. He's humble. He's a great person to work with.
Right. And one of those young African actors who is also making great strides and whom everybody has acknowledged that they want to work with is Bess Davis.
Oh, my God. Bess Davis is a darling. Like, he's one of, sometimes you're in the industry, one thing, you don't meet too many people that you would consider to be on a friend circle.
Right.
And that's one person that I literally would consider that is not just because of the movie, but he's an educator as well. He's a really nice and humble and sweet person.
Right.
And I was just working with him in another movie, which was fantastic and incredible.
Now, Winstina, when you are not on a movie set, what else are you doing? What are some of your hobbies?
Basically, my hobbies is just to hang out with the husband and the kids. They make my life complete because doing this movie sometimes take a toll on my family because we don't get to spend as much time as we're supposed to. So anytime and any chance I'm able to, I just want to spend it with my kids and my husband.
Right. Now, one of the things I've noticed with Sierra Leoneans is that they are very, very hospitable, they are receptive, and they would always invite you for lunch. And whenever they do that, they would always love to serve you with a plate of cassava leaves. Is that your favorite traditional delicacy from your country?
To tell you the truth, I know it's cliche, but yes, my favorite is cassava leaf.
Okay, now, Winstina, a while ago you said so many positive things about Akim Macaulay. I may be tempted to say he's one of your role models, but now let's keep Macaulay aside. Who else do you really look up to as someone who has impacted your life? Do you have a role model?
Out of the movie industry, my utmost role model, somebody that I look up to, that I want to be like in this life, is my mother. She's my inspiration. She's the reason that you see me the way I am.
Right.
To inspire me to be strong, to inspire me to go for my goals. Even this movie industry, she know this was something I always loved to do, but I didn't pursue it because I was pursuing other things.
Right.
But the opportunity and the chance came up. She gave me 110% of support, anything financial-wise, emotional-wise, mentally, physically. Like, my mother is my world. And a part of my mother, the next person, especially, I would say, is my husband, because he's my motivator. Helps me. He, no matter how he's reluctant with this movie thing because he feels it takes too much of our time, he still help and support me. Anywhere I want to go, wherever, even if it's New York, he will drive me, take me there, and just let me do my thing. So that's somebody that also inspired me to continue to do what I do. And in the movie industry, basically, I would say everyone that I've met, I have not met no one that has not inspired me, or I have not been in a set where I did not learn something to take to the next set. Like a sister that I would say she's a sister in the industry, Soleil Diva, she's always been there for me. I've learned from her, and I will continue to learn from her. Robert Peter is somebody that I've learned from, that if I'm going through meaning, I want to make a decision that I don't know, especially that comes in the movie industry, that's somebody phone number I'll dial, like, hey, I want to do this, what do you think? So basically, Albert Joe, I would say John Uche, who's a brilliant director, those are some of the people that technically I look up to in this industry.
Right.
That really has helped me to guide me to take me where I need to go.
Winstina, there is certainly this young Sierra Leonean girl who has been listening to us in Moyamba. There is one who has been listening to us in Bombali, Port Loko, Tonkolili, Freetown, and they have been inspired. They want to be like you. They want to be actresses like you. What message do you have for them? What can you tell them?
Basically, what I've strived to in life is you can do anything you put your mind to. It doesn't matter who said you can't. It doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 30, you could be 50, you could be 60, whatever age you are. As long as you put your mind to it and you have the talent and you continue to practice, you continue to make yourself better, you will make it. You'll be the next Genevieve. You'll be the next whatever, Holly Berry. Put it that way. Whatever you want to be in life, even if you want to be a director, you will be the next director that will make it big. It doesn't matter as long as you put your hold to it and don't let nobody tell you you cannot do it.
Put your hold to it, you'll definitely be the next director, the next actress, the next whatever thing you like to be. Winstina Taylor, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. And I really just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for people like you that give us a voice out there. We're up and coming, and we need this venue so people know that also Nollywood USA is really making its mark, and we are going places. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Okay, definitely we need more press men and women to highlight what our young African men and women are doing here in the diaspora. Winstina Taylor, we want to thank you so much, and we hope to have you some other time on this show. To you, I say, fantastic, and may God bless you. This is African Cocktail. We are running off this 55th edition of the show, thanking everyone who participated. We were not lucky to have some people, especially the mayor of the Kumbu Urban Council, who got really busy with business here in the United States of America. And of course, our resource person, Kenneth Ngamne, who will definitely join us next week for yet another edition of African Cocktail. And so, that's how we put a full stop to this 55th edition of African Cocktail that came to you this Wednesday, July the 2nd, 2014. It was a big and dynamic team that kept you company this bright Wednesday morning here. Wednesday here in the studio. And of course, here in the city of Columbus, African Cocktail manager Suzanne A.A., Belgium correspondent Titus Banyo, who reported from Antwerp, Germany correspondent Maxel Adik, who is in Essen, and of course, South African correspondent Solomon Atta in Cape Town, Cameroon correspondent JJ Nshom, who reported from Douala, the economic capital of that country. We have resource person number 1, Kenneth Ngamne. Resource person number 2, Suleiman Koyate. Resource person number 3, Matu Ayon. Content critic, The White Bokery. Production collaborator, Crystal Beauty of the Crystal Beauty Show, who joins us next week with African Tele Review, African Cocktail Online Promo Banner, Bo Boateng, guest at large, Desiree I, Ruth Njika, Mark Dart, Akim Makole. Special guest in this edition of African Cocktail was the mayor of Kumbu Urban Council, whom we didn't succeed to get, but hopefully we're going to have him before he goes back to Cameroon. Main guest, Winstina Taylor. Collaboration, Big Joe, Ambrati Coffee, Big Bo, Awal Mohammed, DJ Cash, Damilola, Jari, Mayo Makinde, Saran, and of course KK. Coordination, Nana Ampem, Charles Bafo. My name is Ernest Kanjo, regular host of African Cocktail, asking you to join me again next week for yet another edition of the show. And until we meet next week, it is bye-bye, ciao, au revoir, merci, I'm gone, see you then. To God be the glory.
Music.